Hello, everybody. Welcome back to. Let me try that again.
Sure.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. We don't have an editor. This isn't a podcast. This is all. This is what just goes out there.
live.
Welcome to week 2 of Shadows of Sybil, SOS season 3. Still very weird to say that out loud. Very weird to still be here. Still only seeing, the varying amounts of cosplay amongst the three of you. Yeah, it's like you're back in your old habits again. It's nice. It's adorable. You're all extra cute.
You're adorable, Mathis.
Well, I was gonna say especially me. So welcome back, everybody. I'm excited to be here. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been showing up. I didn't, again, last week we weren't sure how many people were gonna arrive because we're doing it on a different Twitch channel. But not only did you arrive in force, but you're back again. And you guys supported us an immense amount last week with the subs and the bits and the tips, and the shadow bar from last week that we filled up will be opening with today. So don't you worry. The very first thing you see will be because of that shadow bar previously. Very exciting. But I just want to say thank you guys. You guys, it's good to see that everybody cares about the story as much as we do. And this, I didn't think I realized how much this game really meant to me until like last week when I got to play it again, and it was just like, oh, I missed this. There's just something about that 4-hour time period where you can just go and have a really good time with it, and it is really good to have Tracy back. So thank you again, guys. Anything you do for Twitch, which is subs, bits, tips, that goes to these guys. That's all for just the SOS cast. Again, it's not really a pod by night production, so to speak. So the Patreon stuff doesn't go to this show, but we will be using the Twitch stuff to make sure our cast gets paid. So thank you guys for supporting us in that way as well. If you want to support the show as a whole, or maybe SOS has intrigued you as to like what other vampire stuff we've been doing, you can head over to our Discord for one. It's totally free. You can jump in. We had a ton of freaking people jump in from last week. People who only knew us from SOS and now are finally discovering SOF. It's interesting, it's fun to watch. So jump over. Yeah, it's a different.
Can we
I know, man. I didn't
SOS,
mean to do
SOF.
that.
I'm like,
I did not. It was. I had decided on the title before I realized what I'd done. So that's why the new series is called Cracked Crown and not anything SO anything. But you want to if you want to check it out, head over there. We've got 3 whole seasons of Stitch of Fate, which is a completed story arc for all these characters, which include Bub and Dot, along with Josh, aka Saito from SOS, and Mark Meir, which you may know from many video games out there, other D&D streams. He was on LA by Night, and he's been all over the place. He's awesome, and he plays a fan favorite in Max. So check that out. See if you like it. It's a different flavor, and because it's only about an hour per episode, but it's kind of like the highlights. It's kind of like all the good bits. So, and there's a lot of character exploration. We do a lot of one-offs to kind of fill out characters and their past. So, yeah,
and by
I urge
good
you to
bits,
check it
we
out.
mean we're really not great vampires.
You're great vampires. You're not great people.
At all. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like a whole different humanity level over there on SOF.
And I still think season 1's finale may be my favorite finale that I've ever done, ever. Like the Stitch of Fate finale, season 1 was just so tense and so good. I just want you. So if you've never listened, please, I urge you, go check out our other works.
Yeah.
And you can support us on patreon.com/podbynight as well. It just goes toward just all of us podcasting and doing more shows and keeping it going. I feel like I missed something. I feel like I rambled a lot, but I still feel like I missed something.
Though.
No, it was necessary rambling. We had to shill the fuck out of the show because we're back and we want to keep going.
You know what? At the break, I will preview the break with the new Dakota art.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There we
call.
go.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do it right now. I'll do it at the break. Stick around.
Yeah. It's really goddamn good as always. And we may have is the Twitter header changed already?
Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Okay, cool. So they get a little preview.
There's going to be some things coming down the pipeline. You can see most of this over in the Discord, actually. So
we're going all out, man.
Yeah.
We are making this. Yeah, we're making SOS season 3 going out with a bang. And if you're on the Discord, there is a preview of what Dot's talking about in the fan art section, where you can see what might be our Twitter banner in the near future. All right. Well, with that said, I think, I'm ready to kind of just jump back in. I've been chomping at the bit to play more SOS with you guys since last week. I am ready to play. So if you guys are good, I'm ready. You all ready? All right, let's do this then. Then let's rein things in. We'll set the scene and see what our coterie is up to. It's not a visual that we start our night with, nor is it a familiar sound of the back streets of Chicago, cars going by and chatter. Instead, we stay in the pitch black and we slowly open to a familiar sound. And that sound is heard by one of our coterie, Ava Heloise. Ava, you have never dreamed before, but on this night, on this day, this piano is the only thing you can hear. You try to turn your gaze over your shoulder to gaze into the abyss and find where the piano is coming from. And there it sits, a white piano cast in a dim moonlight with a female figure playing it obsessively. As you walk closer, you see this teenage girl as her fingers bleed, playing across the piano keystrokes. The white keys rather, now caked in a thick, darkened, dried red blood. As you watch and stride closer, the detail of the figure vanishes as she does, but the piano continues to play. And standing on the other side, with an arm sat on the top, leaning and gazing in your general direction, with his crisp green suit and crimson red tie, is Shuichi Saito.
Oh, God.
He looks to you. I need you to make me a wits insight roll, please.
Alrighty. What's insight? Rolling.
Saito is a man of emotion. Even underneath his stoic gaze and his self-composed personality, you know him to be a man of his whims. Over the years, you've grown to learn him, his tells, when he truly feels happiness and when it's simply a facade for the benefit of the social situation. And in that, you can see the pain on his face, buried underneath a stoic gaze that he struggles to cling to. It's the twitching of his knuckles on the piano, the tapping of his left foot rhythmically, and the inability to maintain eye contact for more than a few seconds all screams to Ava problems. But perhaps as she reaches out, or maybe you do nothing, no matter the action, he too wisps away, carried away by a dark black smoke, enveloped by the dark abyss. As he disappears, so too does the music and the piano in the moonlight. Rouse check as a new night begins, everybody.
Oh boy, I'm hungry.
Oh, how I have longed to hear you say that, Mathis. You say it differently on SOF. It's scary.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a whole different vibe over here.
I got scared. Okay, here we go. Okay, it was a success.
And it's only Ava who wakes up slightly hungrier, and perhaps it is the trauma of dreaming for the first time in nearly 2 decades to actually have had some form of. But was it a dream? Was it a dream? Was it a vision? Perhaps Ava sits there, lingering at that thought.
She does.
As her eyes snap open, grasping at it as she grasped at Saito. But that has to be put to the side as the night begins. We watch Ava stride up from her bed, having stayed in the penthouse, if memory serves,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Does it look any different since the last time we saw it? I mean, the last time we saw it, we had some trouble there. There was a phone that was delivered by a certain somebody.
Some
forgot about
trouble.
That may or may not had a finger inside of it as a message.
Oh my God.
What is it? What is your penthouse? How is it decorated?
Oh yeah, it's
Feel free.
redecorated.
I can't even remember how it used to be decorated beyond the
Ava,
basics. So.
Ava, like like me, I redecorates all the time. So she kind of goes through phases of things that she really is into. And so she's kind of changed her decor. It's a bit more, so she used to have more like a modern vibe, and I think she's kind of gone more like uh like refurb it, like kind of not, I'm trying to think of the right word, like she has a bit more antique stuff in her apartment.
Okay.
It's got it's more of a, it's a different touch, really. So she's redecorated, she's moved things around. She even also started getting plants and things, so she has like all of these like plants that she takes care
Oh, she's
of.
become a plant mom. Truly a
Yeah, she's a
child
plant,
of the
I know.
pandemic.
Yeah. No, she's baking. No, no. So she, yeah, so it does look very different. For anybody who comes to visit her, if the rest of the gang ever comes to visit her, they would notice it's quite different. So she's redecorated, and I think tonight she wakes up and she is a little more irritated and perturbed than a usual night. So that kind of affects this will definitely affect her mood. And I mean, she still gets dressed. She still gets dressed nice. She never doesn't, and puts on her makeup and everything. But yeah, it's just she's maybe caring a little bit less than she normally does. Something's bothering her.
And it takes you a while to get going for the evening then. In
Yeah.
that, to give you an idea, when the kindred sleep, it's obviously less than a sleep and more of taking on death for a little while. Your corpse becomes cold and immobile, and you sort of skirt the lines of death, and sleep is nothing more than a blink. Rest and dreaming doesn't exist. You almost exist in a permanent state of being awake. Granted, there is a sense of awareness when you are in torpor to sleep for the day, but it is different than having dreams. And this is the first time there might have been a feeling of time between closing your eyes and opening them, shift, almost a bookmark in a way that you haven't had in a long time. Whatever the case, what does Ava wear today? Does she have does she wear, is there like an outfit she's always wearing unless it's like a special occasion? She opens her closet. Do we see 19 of the same dresses? Like, what do we see Ava wear?
She does change her outfit. She's always wearing, but I will say she's usually always wearing red or black. So tonight she opts for black. The previous, or I think last week or the previous night, she was wearing, I think she was also wearing black. So she opts for black tonight, and she wears like a long black skirt with a black top that's like cropped, and it's cold, or it's not that it really matters in Chicago, but most people wear jackets around this time and it's cold. So she like kind of adds to that. She puts like a long black coat on as well.
And as you finish getting ready for the evening and moving toward the front door, as you reach for the handle and turn and unlock it with the definitive clack, the white and gold clashing with one another on the door of the golden lock. And as you swing it open, standing there, a foot or so away from your door, casting a shadow from the light above, wearing an elegant light blue dress with her hair tied in a ponytail, is your long, rather aggressive, or shall we call argumentative, sire, Sienna.
Oh shit. uh, this Ava like kind of does a bit of a double take as she opens the door, as she
You
has not
surprised them
seen
so
this.
much, both of our other players left. They were like,
oh my God, shit,
I'm
out.
gone, bye. You
Yeah,
do a
so
double
she
take.
just,
There's a moment of
yeah,
hesitation. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
no, all good, all good. And she just, Sienna.
There is that moment of pause, and she, as you know her to do, forces a smile with her crimson red lips and her pearly white teeth. Ava, Heloise, my dear child. And she smiles.
It's been so long.
Too long. Much too long. I was hoping maybe we could rectify for all that long lost time. I feel I owe you an apology for standing aside for so long, but times change. And I'd like to spend time with you if you were okay with that.
Ava, she grins at this and she nods, of course. Come in. And she opens her door. As she was on her way out, she opens it.
She actually hesitates. She's like, I was hoping we could walk and perhaps stroll the streets of Chicago. And then she kind of lets that sentence trail off.
I'm happy to.
She again smiles warmly. And unlike Saito, with Siana, it's hard to tell. She's been doing this much longer than you. You could, however, make me a wits insight check to see if you believe the smile to be true or a facade. As silly as some may see this, this is imperative to a Toreador understanding the kind of conversation they're having. You could reroll 2 of those with a willpower. Your call.
Do we regain our willpower at each session? I always forget. It's been a while for me.
Is it the end of each session? I think it is the end of each session. I think it's you regain willpower equal to something, whatever your lowest is.
I mean, I still have willpower regardless. Like I could just use another one.
It's your call if you want to use one. Let me just double check the roll real quick. But do you want to use one? Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Your composure, your resolve. You get at the beginning of every session, whatever is your lowest, I believe.
Okay, I got it. Okay, it's 2. Okay, so yes, I would like to re-roll 2 of those. So that's 2d.
You gain 1 more success, making it a total of 2. Okay. And it's still hard for you. It's been years, and maybe you had hoped or felt that your time amongst the Toreador would help you glean better off of your elders, but Siana has always had this way of keeping under your skin, making it difficult to know her motives. Only when you rose to Bella's side did you see Siana truly show any factual emotion, shall we call it, and it was bitterness and pettiness, selfishness and greed. No matter, in this moment, her smile seems warm. She seems friendly and eager to get on her way. And you step out, shutting the door behind you and locking it, and you stroll down the hallway toward the elevator. It gets smaller and smaller. And as you reach the elevator, our screen cuts. Instead, we're greeted with another familiar voice. This one, in the midst of a bar already open. Ollie prepping for his evening in the back, perhaps talking to Grant. That all is interrupted with a familiar butcher.
Yes.
I haven't heard that in a long while.
A very long while.
Who do I see?
We turn toward the voice, and there is nobody there. Doesn't mean that they're not there.
Yeah, Grant, take over for a minute.
Yeah, sure, boss. He doesn't seem to have heard it, occupied with the calls of orders being shouted through the windows, and he takes over your station like it's a well-trained muscle.
I'm gonna crack the back door and step outside in the alley.
As you do so and stand out in the dark for a few moments, out of the corner of your eye, no more than 2 feet from you, is your once Mala, Rudy.
Hey, Rudy. It's been a while.
Too long, Butcher. You have come a long way.
It's what we do, right? We grow in the night. Well, some of us.
He doesn't make eye contact with you, stares at the ground as you watch his left hand come out, and under from his sleeve a rat runs. Plays with it, as it nibbles on a piece of flesh from his index finger, scurrying back up to his shoulder as it gnaws on it.
Listen, Rudy, I might have a busy night ahead of me. So is there something's chewing away at you there?
As he cuts you off straight up, he says, I apologize for your night is going to be busier. I would appreciate your company this evening.
Well, you can't appreciate anything until you give me some heads up.
You have had many questions about why you.
I've got my ideas.
I wish to bring clarity to them.
All right, I'll bite. Let me close up what I'm doing inside. And, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
As you say that, you see him disappear out of the vision of your eye, rippling out of existence. And Ollie swings back in. The door closes behind him. Is there anything specific you wanted to do, or simply just to lock up? Or, like, clean up and let them know you're leaving?
I want to very carefully open that rear door and leave just enough space for me to get in, not for someone to follow me in. Even a rat, for instance. And then I'll step up behind Grant, let him know that I'm going to be out. If he sees either Dakota or Ava, to let them know that I have absconded with Rudy.
Is Grant familiar with the name beyond any passing mentions of him? I mean, I'm sure he knows the name and perhaps a very vague idea of who he once was for you, but was it something that Ollie has ever discussed with Grant in any depth over the maybe past 2 years?
I'd let him know that Rudy was a guy that took care of me when I needed someone to look out for me, but that he's not to be trusted.
No, it's typical for kindred life. And so Grant goes, well, fuck Rudy. You're like your dad, your dad that was like your vampire dad?
Think more like the Big Brother program.
Oh, all right, well, good luck. Please don't die.
Yeah, I'll work on that. You too.
So far, I've skirted it a couple times. And he flips a burger with that with a loud hit sizzle.
You keep doing that, though. I think you might be pecking away at that marble exterior. Ava might be working it down.
Maybe next time it'll be so bad I either die or you turn me. And he smiles.
God, let's not let that happen.
He goes back to flipping burgers. All right, just be safe tonight, boss.
I nod. I'm going to step back out into the alley.
And as you step back into the alley and the door closes behind you, the scene cuts. We're then greeted with the sounds of water rising and falling. Dakota, how do you spend your nights if you have no particular business to tend to? There's no school.
Okay, if there's no school, I'm skateboarding.
So you head out for the night and skateboard.
Find a park or a wall or like a private place and just. I imagine she like fucks around with the dogs unless you said there's no business, so no gangrel business.
Nothing. I mean, just on a night where,
she would
immediately following the previous night where you got to spend the night with your
I think
coder.
she'd just screw about. She'd like skateboard. She'd grind down some rails, and some cops were like, "Get out of here, kid!" And then she'd probably go to like the train yard, right? Where she would check because that is actually the passing ground for gangrel, and she needs to see if there's any sign of like new gangrel in town or those kind of things. And then I don't know if we have hired somebody to manage the theater. That's a very Dot question, not a very Dakota question.
That's a very cotery question.
That is a very cotery question. But that being said, I think on the occasion, Dakota might drop by the theater to check on it to see if like we got a voicemail for somebody that wants like book the space. She cleans like a cobweb from a corner or some shit. And then, but tonight in particular marks like a 30-day cycle that kind of comes about for Dakota, and as she's out and about skateboarding and checking this and hitting the rails there is a post office box in a neighborhood that she doesn't necessarily frequent but just passes through, and you see she kind of slip out of her backpack, the hidden pocket, a postcard, a small postcard, and she makes sure that the stamp is on there because that's how things work, and she drops it in the mail slot and then just pushes right on by.
And as you push out and you're going to head to the theater, like you normally would?
That's probably the last place Dakota would really want to go, but she's trying this thing called responsibility, and this seems like the right move.
And so we watch her mysteriously mail off a postcard that we can't quite see the details of. However, it is clearly think like a Chicago tourism postcard, likely got at a local library that we're all familiar with. But as you skate to the movie theater, comes into vision, crawling into view, maybe a block out, there's a single figure standing outside. As Dakota gets closer and we can hear the skateboard clattering over the concrete and onto the asphalt, and she kicks it up to walk those last few steps, Dakota realizes there is Damien, the relatively new sheriff of Chicago.
Okay, I imagine what Dakota wants to do is do some very cool Ollie and come to like a skidding halt and pop.
Yeah, go ahead and make me
a
a Dex Athletics roll.
Okay,
don't mess up.
Yeah, don't
use
fuck
your
up.
willpower if need. It's important.
Okay.
She's looking cool.
I hear Ava say that in my
Yes,
mind.
you hear
because we
Are you-
talked
voice
about
in your
this.
head.
Hang on. Before
yeah.
you roll, is Dakota nervous?
Oh, I am
Like a
just a little
schoolgirl
bit.
way.
Like she doesn't. Yeah, for sure.
All
She's
right,
got
take a
huge
minus
crush on
one for nerves.
Damien. Yeah,
up,
that's the whole
Dakota.
point. She's gotta be cool about it. Be cool about it.
Whatever.
I got it too.
And what you were attempting to
You
Ollie
know, to just like
and
kind
then
of like
slide.
pop the board and like stop in a skid halt and like pop my board into my hand. You know, cool skateboard style.
Well, you're able to skid into place and maybe even try to Ollie at the end, but you fail at Ollieing, but you're able to relatively smoothly transfer that into popping the skateboard into your hand instead.
I
And you
meant
stand
to do
there.
that. I say out loud. I meant to do that.
And as you do so, Damien remains emotionless, staring at you and looking at the skateboard and back to you. Mr. Jackson will require your immediate attention if you have the time.
I actually have nothing but time. I point to my tattoo, awkward as fuck again, is Dakota.
Where he introduced you to Cretius, that's where he's waiting.
Oh, okay. Business. Well, as always, it's good to see you, Damien.
He just gives you a very subtle nod and then turns to immediately leave.
Dakota's like, fuck that up. I fucked that up so hard.
Like he walks out of vision and you're just like sweating.
Yep.
That would be the little hole in the ground under the retro tech shop on the outskirts of town where you
Dakota
first
is
met
like, where I
Cretius
first met
properly.
Cretius. Well, it's not the university. And then she's like, oh, right, the strange hole. So I guess I skateboard across town to peep the store.
Can I get Bub and Ava, rather I should say Bub and Tracy. Can you each roll me just a flat D10?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, great.
10.
Wow. You are the first to arrive. The walk with Rudy is long and silent. And if you prod him with questions, he deflects them as best he can, letting you know that when they arrive at the safe place, or at a safe place, they can speak openly. And as the time flows, another hour or so passes. Far in the distance is the familiar retro shop, technology store where you had an official meeting with Kevin Jackson for the first time, and where many agreements were made. You're walked into the retro shop, toward the back corner, where Rudy pulls open the trap door and ushers you in.
Well, that's new to me. I wasn't aware that Rudy was aware of this place. That doesn't feel very good. So I will act none the wiser and descend.
As you descend, that familiar warm glow of a singular light bulb is cast upon you in your well-fitting suit, and standing where he was last time is Kevin Jackson. And as you make your way down and fully take him in, Ava, you're next to arrive. Sienna has light conversation with you in the car ride here, a personal chauffeur, of course. Champagne is offered. Whether Ava takes it or not is up to her. And if you do, you will need to rouse check to drink with Blush of Life.
I'll pass tonight, unfortunately.
And I'm sure, like two fencers at the best of their game, your words duel. You try to pull information from her in the most subtle of ways, and she deflects like a master. Eventually, however, the outsides become familiar. as the well-funded buildings of Chicago give way to the forgotten ones, where the forgotten people of Chicago live. And a familiar retro store you have not been to in quite some time rolls into view. As it does, she goes, "Ah, how quaint. Well, shall we?" And she swings the door open with a long kick. Her leg strides out.
She's coming with.
Seems so.
All right. I'm not gonna object, I suppose.
And so you
follow
follow
suit.
her in. As you do, you can hear muffled movement beneath you. And Ollie, within a few moments, the door opens again. First strides down Sienna, a face you've seen about as often as Ava. And immediately following is Ava. Dakota is not yet here. You don't even know if she was invited, of course. But skateboarding takes a little longer.
Nobody invites the gang girl.
So Rudy is here.
He
Sienna is here.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Jackson is here. Is anybody with
Yeah.
Jackson?
No, he's alone.
Okay.
I'm so happy I can fucking reveal this shit now.
I am so concerned.
I too am concerned. I just look at like Ava just looks at Ollie and like looks at Rudy. Like,
Okay, well, you know what?
oh.
Dakota is none the wiser. She thinks she's meeting up
Correct,
with
she's
Jackson,
not there
which
yet, yeah.
means that she is only just trying to impress him. So she's like skateboarding and trying to like put her blazer on, you know, along the way. And then when she gets there, it's like outside shimmying up the jeans to try to like look better. Like she believes she's about to meet Jackson.
Yeah. And after maybe a few minutes of Ollie and Ava giving maybe awkward and tense gazes, there's a palpable fear settling in as you have no idea what's happening. You hear the skateboard kick up. You hear that on the upstairs. There's like a hopping noise, like a little feet kind of hitting up and down. And then eventually there's a moment of silence. And then the door opens.
Prince
And
Jackson, you
Dakota.
called for me.
And as you say that, looking around and the door shuts,
you just like look.
you are
look at
surrounded
Dakota.
by Ava, Ollie, Sienna, Rudy, and Jackson.
This is a hot box of death. Like Ollie's immediate take is like, who do I have to take out first if this goes south? And if Damien's there, that's his target immediately. Like that's like.
So I have to be honest. Dakota
Intense.
in awkwardness, Dakota cracks really bad jokes.
I'm just, whatever happens, happens.
And yeah, Dakota knows that sometimes you just have to shut up. Maybe she's learned that from Jackson, and she just kind of like cuts to the back wall. It's like, I'm gonna just try not to be here. This is Dakota's intervention. Oh boy, chat, you're killing me today. No, I hope not. Dakota she just like full on into the bush gif, just like pulls to the back wall.
What is Damien and Jackson's demeanor?
Damien
look
isn't
like?
here. He did not
Okay.
come.
Oh, he's not
He
here.
has to keep up the sheriff charade. He has to be
Right.
around Chicago right now.
Okay, what does
So-
Jackson's demeanor look like?
As it always does, calm, confident, hands behind his back as he gazes around the room, waiting for all of you to arrive.
Hands behind his back, so very disarmed. Then I'll hold out that bizarre turgid silence.
Does anybody speak out of the three coterie members out of curiosity?
I have a question. Would Dakota know if she should speak in a moment like this? Is
Probably
this like
not.
an
No.
etiquette thing? Okay, yeah, no, then Dakota.
No, this is not an etiquette thing. Certainly not
Okay.
an etiquette
Yeah,
thing.
then she says nothing. I imagine if Jackson wants to speak, he will fill the silence.
And he
yeah.
actually is simply watching at the moment. It is,
God.
we'll say, only seconds after Dakota realizes what's happening, and there's a glance as he makes eye contact with each and every one of you. And maybe if the tension is palpable enough and nobody speaks, he will. I appreciate you all coming on my call. And he gives a gentle smile. He brings his hand up and looks to his own fingers. I'm sure you are all, well, the three of you, are rather confused. The floor is open to questions of any kind. Feel free to speak them, or I may simply continue speaking on my own.
Are we expecting someone else?
Unfortunately, no. As he looks to Dakota.
Mm. You
Dakota
called
wasn't
upon-
part of the plan.
Hmm.
Initially.
You're muted, Dakota.
Yeah, you're muted or it's mega delayed, one or the other.
No, still nothing. Nope. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna recycle it. Hang on a second. Chat. Technical difficulties.
In the meantime, I think Ava will ask Jackson. Have you been in contact with our sires? I mean, I look to Rudy as he's not really, but have you been speaking with them?
I wouldn't say regularly. Off and on over the past few years.
Hmm. Interesting. I can't say this certainly is unexpected.
Sienna speaks up. I meant it. At the door of your penthouse. I do owe you an apology. I was frustrated, even angered with you. Taking Belle aside so quickly and foolishly. You could have gotten yourself killed. You knew not what you meddled with.
I know. I've done that many times and I've learned from it.
And that's why I wish to apologize. You have exceeded any pre-expectation I had of you. You have blossomed into a beautiful rose. I am glad it was our clan who got to claim you.
I am as well. And I know we've had our difficulties in the past. It's just sometimes it's gotten harder for me now to
You need
trust.
to explain yourself. She shakes her head.
Well, you're here, so that means
you deserve an explanation.
Hmm.
All of you do, in some fashion. Your process of embrace was unique. Ava, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you were certainly within the crosshairs of the La Sombra for some time.
I've learned, yes.
Chosen by Sybil herself. And we thought that maybe if we could take you before she did, we could delay her, perhaps push her off. Fortunately, it didn't work quite like that. She had her eyes set on you for one reason or another. I tried to shield you, take you out of play. When that became obvious it couldn't be done, I tried to at least keep you safe or out of the messes you kept getting yourself in. And as she says that, her eyes move to Dakota. Those first year or two, I wasn't sure any of you were going to freaking make it.
Surprise.
Dakota was the kink in the works. No idea where her sire is.
Between all of us, it's probably best to leave it that way.
We didn't expect the council to pull you in on that night. But Apparently they wanted to give you your freedom. And we couldn't tip our hand, so we had to play along. Fortunately or fortunately, the four of you bonded. And the coterie was created, and Rudy continues. We had to play with Dakota as part of the game board now.
For what reason? What is the real reason we are here?
So you all were in this before we were even...
Jackson will cut Ava off. Not together, no. We all independently discovered the truth on our own and came together over the course of time. By the time we had realized and were able to establish a line of trust amongst us, she had began moving, and rather quickly. He takes a moment. Zach was an opportunistic bastard, but it worked into our hands to get Ava off play. Didn't mean it helped. When Dakota came in, I think they saw an opportunity for a loyal, not to insult you, dog.
I prefer hound.
So did she. And Ollie's family was unique. Kindred political sway on both sides, fighting proxy war through their ghouls. There was concern that maybe you were born and imbued with something we've never seen. And also a revenant. Rudy interrupts. And if that was the case, Sybil would have taken you too. It's both true that you were embraced for political reasons in a petty war between two kindred vying for land, but it's also true that it was an opportunity I could not ignore. You were all in play for various reasons.
So what? It was planned and unplanned, and fate just brought us here in this room so we can coordinate against her?
And
Jackson speaks up. Perhaps it's more true than not. It isn't that we were all mystically or fatefully brought to this room. It's that we, as he gestures to Sienna and Rudy, came to a discovery most of Chicago hadn't. And we had attempted to step in its path. However, by the time we came together, she was already well walking down that path. So we sought to try and cut her off, and that's where you all came in. What we didn't expect was her obsession with Ava to continue. We thought maybe she'd find a new pawn. There's something about her that Sybil has an obsession with.
Then she has a weakness. We should exploit it.
Kevin Jackson smiles and nods.
exploit me.
Mr. Jackson smiles and nods. And that is why you're one of the few I trust, Dakota. I'm sure this is a lot to take in, and I apologize. But I had to ensure that you were all clean of her influence, her desires. But I hope this offers clarity.
It is a lot. It's just all these years we maybe could have even been working together.
Yes, why hide our allies from us? We have
risk
so much more to lose.
Jackson continues to risk Lix letting loose a secret that could end the only opportunity to stop someone as old as her from taking an entire city for herself. It may have worked, and you're right. you very likely would have been able to keep it quiet. But I did not know that, nor you. Your reputation is that of the loud ones. And so I played a quieter game, spent more time planning, setting up support as he looks to Sienna and Rudy, amongst those with power and influence, shoring up a foundation to flip all of this on its head, as we've discussed. But as I've promised you, I am going to be as honest with you as I possibly can. And now is a time where this should come forward.
Well, it seems like since we've all been working in a silo, that we should take some time to pool our information so that we are the informed ones. What do you all know that we don't?
There's a moment of silence as Sienna looks around. I know she is. Bella is gone.
Yeah.
You
I
are
had a
aware.
feeling. It seemed that way. I couldn't say for sure, but
This
I
is
can
our
tell.
official confirmation.
I had to hand that to her. I had contact with her for a little while. She has been quietly calling the blood to Chicago. The Sombra blood. Had I not played along, I would have lost myself,
Of course.
much like Bella. However, the hands of time are moving much quicker than I anticipated. I risk my entire existence being down here.
Okay. And what about her beloved confidant?
There's a raised eyebrow from Rudy.
She, of course, is speaking to Sienna.
Oh, you look
Yeah,
over
she
to
turns to
Sienna.
look to Sienna and she says, "What do you know?"
I'm not sure I know much more than that. Bella has been secluded recently, rarely leaving. I will say, though, there are whispers that she's been meeting with Vanessa as of late. And a woman by the name of Rosa, I believe. Rosa Lasombra.
Rose.
Yes.
Or was it Rosa? Shit, I can't remember.
It was
Neither can the storyteller.
Rosa. You know what? This is why I have an NPC sheet. I will look.
Yeah. We have a
going.
sheet. We just got to dig it out. It's the whatever the Lasombra one is.
Yep. You keep going. So
She's been
they're
meeting with her.
meeting behind closed doors.
Sienna simply nods to that.
What
No
happened?
sight of Mr. Vitale either.
That was my question. What happened to the meat bag?
I believe you were the last that saw him, no? Sienna looks to Ava.
Yeah. I was.
Do you remember where? You were dropping him off somewhere. I'm trying to remember where
Was
you
it
were
in
dropping him off.
was it in Chinatown that I was dropping him off? Or was that
Was it was in
something-
Chinatown or Madison? I don't remember.
It was in
It
Madison.
was Madison.
Madison.
That makes more
yes.
sense. Yep.
It was
you would
moved
know
to
that.
electorate in Madison.
Okay.
Sienna does
Yes.
not know that. She looks to you. She's like, last I heard, he was last seen with you, I believe.
I would actually relay that to the group. Yes, I left him out of the city.
Her name was Rose.
Rose,
okay.
right. I've met her too. I left Vitale in a small town called Madison.
Jackson seems to furrow his brow. And Dakota, you're familiar with this internal lost in thought look on Jackson, chewing on information before he cognitively returns. Does Ollie say anything, or has he been very silent?
Ollie is on the defensive, waiting for an opportunity to strike.
No, wait, you did bring Vitel back. I'm sorry, didn't you? Didn't you bring him to Madison? He was normal.
And he
And then
came
you
back
picked him back
not
up and he
normal.
was a fucking weird,
Yeah.
blank staring
Yeah,
man.
and then you brought him
of
back and delivered him to the
voices and
ivory tower.
heavy breathing over
Yep.
and over again, and you brought him to the ivory tower.
Okay.
Right? Because
okay.
Madison, you brought him to Madison, that was the first order. And that was when he was a normal, he seemed
Yes.
normal. And then when he
And
came
then
back
he was
to the car,
creepy.
he was like a one word,
And
heavy
you did that
breathing
death
zombie
rattle. I
dude.
remember the death
Yes,
rattle.
the death rattle, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That is it.
Yeah.
Correct.
I remember.
Yeah, so he's
Okay.
back. You dropped him off, I think, in the ivory tower. I think you
Okay.
brought him to the ivory tower. He was
Yeah.
escorted by guards. I'm starting to remember, I think.
But
And that
this
was
is
it.
all
That was,
before
so you
the
brought him back here.
Elysium, and
Sienna would
yep,
still say the
yep.
same thing, though. Like last she heard he was
Yeah.
with you. So you would just say
Regardless,
that.
I would still tell them the little, that
Yeah,
whole-
definitely. That's fine. I apologize back to Ollie. Ollie, I apologize. It was a random cut off there. Has Ollie said anything? Is he standing? What is he doing?
Ollie is just waiting to see what kind of information they have. He's very defensive, waiting for an opportunity to strike, given a verbal moment to cue in.
There is an opportunity after Ava spills whatever information she does. There is a moment where, like I said, Jackson seems to fall into a moment of thought, taking that information in and chewing on it, which would give Ollie an opportunity to speak up.
Can we just highlight the fact for a moment that despite waiting trepidatiously to see exactly how and who we are, that we were consistently set up for failure, leading potentially to our own demises and deaths? With frequency, this wasn't a once-in-a-while kind of thing. Do you have any bombs been thrown at us by our kind, let alone the living?
Rudy does speak up. The life of a kindred is not one to be relished. Your lives thrown into perils, an unfortunate part of being what you are now.
I'm not looking for tutelage, Rudy. I appreciate your words, but moments ago you said your very existence is at stake. But the truth is, every person in this room's very existence is at stake.
Jackson verbally agrees. He is right, Rudy. Not one of us here can leave this place without worry that somebody might spill something and end this whole thing. Rudy simply stays quiet at that.
Is this our first and only line of defense in our secrets? Is there no one else?
There are others. Some more informed than the rest. People
Why
are in
aren't they here
place.
now?
They don't need to be. Those that are on our side, at least some of them, aren't aware of the, shall we call her, monster that sleeps beneath our city?
Well, that monster's sleeping beneath the city, and she's been avidly calling the blood. Sombra, if you will. Who's to say that she's just not listening through you right now? Rudy?
Rudy chews on that. Great pains were taken to ensure that she can no longer see through me. He makes no eye contact, however, with that, and maintains a strict gaze to the ground.
Well, how familiar are the lot of you with the events that have occurred in Madison?
Jackson continues to speak relatively. Details are muddy, as you're the only ones who are aware of them. If you wish to fill us in, if you deem it to be valuable and useful.
I think it's extremely valuable and useful. And he looks to Ava and Dakota to mention that there is a fairy that's wrapped so tightly in this, helixed up right next to Sybil. And I know that sounds like hoodoo folklore, but at some point we didn't know that vampires existed. And here we stand in this basement, dwelling at night.
I can confirm that at least the Fae is interested in Sybil's vitae, and vice versa in some way. They're, as Ollie put it, helixed, interlinked in their existence. And this Fae, they are using this plane of existence, Madison specifically, as a location for something important.
Do you believe
something
then
big.
that this chaos at its spirit is, do you believe it has something to do with when you brought Vitel to Madison then?
Yes.
It has to be.
There was...
No.
You
I'm
called
willing
him
to hear
empty,
theories.
Ava. Do you remember that? Empty, hollow.
Yes.
The only time a body is hollow is when it needs to be filled with something.
Yes.
The question is what? And why? We know that she was waiting on a specific time. It's why Ava recently, Ava, it was so planned for Ava to take Vitel to Madison. Something happened there. And we brought it back. The question is, what is she using Vitel for?
Right.
An important and all-important question, perhaps the key to understanding her motives completely. Kevin shakes his head. Unfortunately, I'm not privy as to why or what either. And the information of a Fae.
I can tell you why. I at least have a vague idea.
We have theory.
I am all ears.
And
Mr.
someone
Hopkins.
that I was talking to out in Madison. Someone that I was, unfortunately, courtesy of our first few years together, pretty close with, by the name of Matthew. But I think he's died now.
All of them seem like that name does not ring a bell.
Matthew wasn't like us. He wasn't a kindred, and he also wasn't a kind. He went through a place he called the Hedge. I don't really know what it's like. It's a place between places. I don't really understand it. But what he said was the Hedge was dying. The Hedge was a place of fae and fairy tale. It was their home. And he seems to think that fairy, I don't know her name, I'm just going to keep calling her that she's coming here so that she can sap off some of the same energy from that darkness, from the abyss, the void. The Sombra I'm so closely familiar with.
Yes.
When Matthew broke through, things came through with him. Leaves, where the roots were decorated with blackened veins. And I didn't know what to make of it, but I knew it wasn't right. And so I started making some friends of my own here. I took the leaf to the chantry. I made friends. And then I took it to the Witch of the Yards. She was most interested.
Jackson will speak up. Be wary of that woman. It is impossible to know her intentions.
Flies. Honey and vinegar. I'm sure you're familiar with the saying.
He nods.
She's very interested in things that are not of this place. Things that are greater than we are. You come bearing gifts. She's very happy to work with you.
Yes.
But you have to make sacrifices. And so far, she's the only one that's willing to work with me. Because I have a reputation that I built up, at least here in the kindred world. I'm a Nas pretending to be a Ventru.
In that moment, Sienna smiles. And if I may, you've rather annoyed the Ventru. It's been quite entertaining. She smiles and she catches
Ava also smiles.
Kevin's eye, and the smile dissipates instantly.
Oh, Dakota doesn't like any of this, and she says, well, there's no such thing as good business, Sienna.
From my understanding, I've
bites her
also annoyed the Nas quite a lot.
You are a nos in defiance of your kind.
By kind, you mean kindred, right?
Yes.
I'd say
That was
we're
Ruby
all
speaking.
currently in defiance.
So,
I was going to say, who haven't we annoyed at this point?
an
Even
even
I
more
was.
important question, perhaps in these most recent nights, Ava. Who is on our side?
Oh, that is a good question. I only thought I had about 4 people on my side. Tonight I have 6.
And so the garden grows. Sienna says,
Dakota thinks but does not say. Her beast says the hound pisses on the garden.
In her head, just saying it over and over again.
That being said,
Snitch.
Sorry.
what is the plan? Why are we here? We can huddle in this bunker and pontificate on the past all we want.
Jackson shakes his head, merely to continue holding my end of the bargain. Truth. I merely wish to shed light on a part of your past that all of you are still questioning. To move forward with certainty, and not have lingering doubts of who you were or why you came to be weigh you down.
I haven't let that weigh me down in years, but I appreciate it, Jackson.
He nods.
It's been made very clear to me that I was not supposed to be from start to finish, but yet I am in this room, so...
He smiles. You may not have been intended, but you may be one of the best playing cards we've ever had.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Maybe we can, use it to our advantage.
He shakes his head. Dakota, this may sound silly, but were it not for you, I'm not sure any of this would be occurring now. You ruffled feathers and caused problems. You took the attention of Bella for a long time. For a while, her favoritism fell on you. And her grander desires fell by the wayside for personal ones.
As sentimental as it all sounds, I would have been A-okay without it. But since it got us here in this room, and I appreciate your uplifting candor, what is next step? We can't just wait around. We have more assets now than we've had before, and she doesn't know.
Is there interest in returning to Madison for the three of you?
Absolutely not. I fucking hate that place. I didn't go last time.
Have you gotten the answer from the witch?
Oh.
Or has she not replied to you, Mr. Hopkins?
She said she wanted time to study it. And I'm sorry, but I've been a little wrapped up in my own business. On top of the fact that my business keeps growing. For instance, did you hear about us being attacked?
We do have quite a bit of problems on our own to deal with.
There is a look of visible confusion on Kevin's face.
Now, there's a new type of hunter in town. A named hunter. She seems very proud of herself. She's the one that converted my son.
The look of annoyance and frustration at hearing of new hunters in the city turns to that of solemn stoicism when he looks to you. Is this something that you feel you need to pay a majority of your time to right now, Mr. Hopkins?
I would say in an effort to avoid further masquerade breaches, yeah. Because when she's screaming my name in the middle of the city and I answer and the guy's got a bomb on his back, that seems pretty obvious. Little dated, but pretty obvious. Something that must be handled.
He takes... Sorry, go ahead.
She's a bit dramatic.
Kevin takes a moment.
She's a bit dramatic.
You're delayed. I'm sorry. That's why we're talking over each other. My bad.
That's all right. Yeah.
Pain.
Technology.
Unless you have some sort of proposal.
I wanted to see what Dakota had to say first, but if it was
She just brought us up. She just told us to keep going.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. No problem. Oh God, get me back on track. What did Ollie say? I apologize.
That they're loud, that screaming his name.
Right. He
Bomb
takes
on
a
his
moment.
back.
He goes, I was not informed by any of my people of a bomb going off.
It's because it was cleaned up.
Excellent job then. I apologize, and I'm sorry to hear it. If it is something that is going to take the majority of your time, then perhaps...
Can I wits awareness that?
Yeah, you're welcome to. Wits insight or wits awareness?
Wits in.
Are you looking to
wits
like
insight.
read if he's being honest?
Yeah, I want to see if he's being honest here.
Wits insight.
Yeah, okay. Because
anything in particular? Like
well, Jackson's made it very clear that he's got eyes everywhere, and that we've even gone as far as establishing that he has
Well, yeah,
like,
he has
people in the area. So for him to not hear about someone screaming for the butcher, and then that
it
that
has
just
only
seems
been a night, and it's like the very beginning of the next night right now, so he may not have had time.
three successes.
Do you want to reroll 2, or are you happy with 3?
I'm happy with 3. I want to feel
With
it out.
3, I will say you have succeeded. You didn't fail your roll. And it does seem like he's being honest to you in this moment.
Okay, then that's informative. That means that his feet on the ground, his eyes on the ground are not as fast.
He's not omniscient, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it was an explosion, like it went off, he probably would have heard, within.
Can I read
minutes.
Rudy here to see like how his response is? Because Rudy hangs out. He's got eyes
absolutely
constantly.
What are you looking to read Rudy about? Like, see his face in reaction to what?
To the bomb, mostly to the bomb.
Yeah, please.
And the calling out.
Yeah.
Wits. It says I got 0 successes, but there are 2 there.
Yeah, you got 2. You got 2 successes.
Okay.
With 2 successes, looking to Rudy, it's hard to get a read on him. He's looking away from you. He's not looking concerned, but he doesn't he doesn't reply, certainly. Well, perhaps then, if I may ask of you to return to the Witch of the Arts. I realize she said it would take time, and you yourself have been busy. Perhaps that'll lead to somewhere. I wouldn't rule out going back to Madison yet, however. If this is where Vitel was brought and he returned a different man, we will need answers if we cannot get our hands on Vitel himself. And Vitel has not been seen since he was by your side, Ava.
What if I could find Vitel? Maybe.
If we got our hands on Mr. Vitel, the game would change entirely. But don't do something stupid, my child. Sienna cuts in.
Hey, wait a minute.
I recognize that look on your face. I wish Saito had never met you.
Oh, shit.
What, Ava, what the fuck was that story? The story that she kept preaching to you about. Hey. Tai.
Yes,
Otai.
the willing and unwilling servant.
Yes, the tale of the willing servant.
I'm not old enough to really respect the tale. Frankly, it just feels like jibba jabba to me. But there might be someone, if you're bold enough to approach them. And then I look to Jackson. Maybe it's a value to you to approach them since they're your friend.
Yeah, he nods and he goes, Mr. Hopkins, I had the very same thought. I will go see my good friend Cretius soon.
He's been around for a while. I imagine that he's pretty familiar with that tale.
He smiles. He is from a time I wish I had gotten to see. A fascinating man, if not a cranky one. And he gives like a light joke as best he can, but his voice is always heavy, no matter. I appreciate your willingness to collaborate with your sires, knowing a relationship with them has been strained. I wouldn't imagine you'll be seeing them quite often, but I felt tonight important. Perhaps, he shakes that, perhaps I'm a fool for such things, but...
Everyone's welcome down at the Lights Out pub. You can pop in for a good burger, or you can break into Ava's personal stock. She has stocked us with some high-end stuff.
Tiana just goes, and gives you one of those polite smiles that says, no.
No, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, but
there's
no
also
thanks.
the theater. The theater.
Oh, yes, I've heard of your new ventures. I am, as I said, proud of you, Ava. You have exceeded expectations and become a valuable asset to kindred society.
I've never been one to sit around and be complacent. So
Jackson continues. It is them. They are the reason Damien was able to take his slot earlier than anticipated. You owe them quite a bit. They don't say anything. Well, if that is it, my friends, then yes, you may leave. However, if there's questions, now ask them, as after this night, your sires will return to where they belong. Well, your sire, as he looks to Ava, will return, and Rudy will do what he does best. There are no questions, and there is silence.
There is.
Sure.
I think at least Dot has a question.
We can fade to break here then. That way we can get our audio picked up. So as he lets that question move across the warmed room, as many cold bodies sit huddled together here, we slowly dim to black. And we'll return and give us like 10 or so minutes. We're going to fix some tech stuff, go to the bathroom, and we'll be back for the rest of the show. Hey guys, we were
We're
like
back.
all theorizing. Everybody was theorizing rather out of like off the
And I called
off
it and said we
camera,
had
which
to
is why
go
we're a
live.
little
We had to
late.
come do it in front of all of you.
For those who are curious, because it probably won't come up, about Zach's sire, which I see like how is he part of the plan? I want you to go back to season 1 and remember the visions Zach Sire was having, while also keeping in mind that Zach Sires was aggressively independent and kept all of his research hidden and never reached out to anybody, as was the design of the character from EE. And he may not have initially met any of the initial sires as like information maybe was coming forward. But he was fighting it in his own way. And then Zach being turned allowed them to try and make a quiet move to get Ava turned by kind of conversation and all that shit with Sienna. But there you go. That hopefully clarifies it in a very quick way. But yeah, Zach, we won't really, I mean, detailed questions probably won't be asked, I can't imagine. But if they are, I'll answer in character. With that said, back from break, thank you guys for the support. We got another shadow bar last time around, prior to break. It was great. So I'll pocket that and I think I know what I want to do with it, but I just don't know if it'll be this episode or next time. I'll keep that in mind.
It's about 2 hours, so I challenge you, cowards, to step up and try to make our lives hell.
We're
You can't
already
do any
on the
worse.
way to a second one. Remember, Mathis gets to bank them, so he could bank them up to more than he could scarily use.
Well, on that, shall we continue? Let's rein it in, set the scene, and re-dive into what our coterie was up to as our vision returns to the warm orange light. The tense standoff between sire and child, and a lingering silence between the three of them as Kevin offers an opportunity for final thoughts before you all lead your separate ways.
Okay, so we decided our weakness was that we didn't share with each other earlier, right? So moving forward, this little rebellion needs a way to communicate. Are we going to meet like once a month, have a powwow? What is the plan?
And that's actually an excellent point and something that I have put some of my mind into. Mr. Hopkins, you have access to ShrekNet, do you not?
I do, yes.
That would be easiest, I believe. Modern technology is still a rather large threat, and the fact that Bella is as easy on modern technology as she is a weakness.
Does Dakota, have you told us that you have access to ShrekNet?
I think he's brought it up. You got to remember, like he had
the repair guy came in too.
We had people come in and install everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
it was
we knew. Okay, so
Bard's.
it's not a surprise. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Sovereign was the one running in and out.
You took Ollie downstairs at one point. And
that's right, at the end of last
saw the
season.
computer.
Right. Yeah, we both saw. Yeah, there's been a couple times. Okay, you're right. Okay, that's not a surprise, Dakota. It was a surprise reminder for Dot. That's what it was.
If you're willing to use and access ShrekNet, we can communicate there rather safely, over longer periods of time via encryption, of course. But I'm assured Mr. Ballard's investment in ShrekNet is a secure one.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Good. He looks back to Dakota. Was there anything more?
No, I just wanted to make sure, if we needed to, we knew how to get to you. Maybe some time. We need some time to simmer and figure some stuff out.
Understood.
Yes.
Then say we all go our separate ways for the evening. I apologize for, as he goes that, and we see Ollie kind of raise a finger rather determinedly. Not he wasn't meek when he did it.
Yeah. Where does Snitch sit in all this involvement?
I keep him at an arm's length. He has his value and his job to do. I'm not certain I can trust him. His history is muddy.
All of our histories are muddied, Mr. Jackson.
Snitches is intertwined with violent lupine past actions.
We are all too familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be something you've ever informed him of? over the past few
No.
years? Dakota or anyone? No, everybody would have kept the whole
At least not
werewolf
Ollie.
thing
Ollie
quiet.
wouldn't.
That was not part of the honest questions Dakota gave the answer for the last time we were in this room, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
If he
we
didn't
talked
ask
about it.
anything about that, then I don't think that's been brought up.
No.
Right, then he doesn't. It doesn't. The conversation doesn't lead in that direction.
Something's going on with Snitch. He's had his fingers in the pie, or I guess in this case, in the bakery for a while. Snitch has had his workings with Rudy. I've heard a lot about it. They protected each other, or somehow he protected him.
I owe a lot to him.
Snitch has taken a keen interest in my own personal endeavors. He's offered me support and tutelage where I didn't get it in some places. And he's taken his time to show me through deep roads in Chicago. Deep roads.
Rudy continues after you finish and says, if my voice carries any weight, I trust Snitch.
I trust Snitch too,
Does he?
but I don't really know
you?
his game. Oh, I think so.
Not you.
I think so.
Ollie. You, Rudy.
I certainly hope so.
I would put money that I don't have on the fact that Snitch knows where she is, where they've hidden her body. You see, we have two people in this room. Each of them have a really direct connection to our little problem. If it's true Snitch knows everything, I imagine you can find out more from him, Rudy. And
Rudy
Sienna,
nods.
you are in the ivory tower. We need to know when they move Vitel and why.
I agree with the gangrel. This is Sienna speaking as she speaks up.
Well, there is a first for everything.
Agreed.
If you can figure out how they move Vitel, we can set him up for his disappearance.
And I will speak with Snitch and see if I can learn anything about where she may lie.
If it is true that Sybil has a soft spot for Ava, Sybil needs to think that there's a way to get her back. Ava, how do you feel about Rose?
We didn't get the most along when we first met, but I am willing to try to rekindle that relationship.
Thoughts on letting Ava work her charm on Rose so we can find out what really is going on, Jackson?
I tentatively agree, but I would caution. Miss Ava, you are no longer under her watchful gaze. I imagine if Rose is working with her, there'll be some sort of distrust from her to you. It is worth an effort.
But I imagine when Sybil finds out Ava's taken an interest in her very own literal Rose, Sybil's weakness will come to the surface.
It is possible. She does reach back out to Ava in some fashion or another, and it makes logical sense that it would be through Rose, if anybody. He nods. You have my blessing. Just, please, caution. Just take caution.
Ava looks to Sienna and says, "It was good to see you again.
You, my child.
I know we'll have to be our separate ways for some time, but
when all is said and done, and we're in our rightful places, I'll have you to thank." And she smiles. And there's not a role that needs to be done to know that there is plenty that she's insinuating. if that's all, then. Jackson looks to each of you in the eye. You may leave.
You know where to find me if you need me.
And on that, Dakota, please consider returning to Madison. If Madison is perhaps as important as you believe it to be, I only want to send those I trust most.
Right.
Just consider it.
Madison,
I don't want
no
an answer
problem.
tonight. He just goes, I don't want an answer tonight. Have a good evening. And he turns to face away from all of you, taking a posture Dakota is familiar with when he tends to lose himself in thought.
Dakota's like, we leaving. What's the goal? Like, get the fuck out of this
we'll take
room. Dakota's like first out the door.
Dakota takes, maybe
Done.
she's the first one. She makes her way to the ladder, pushes open the trap door to the rush of summer night wind, and you step out to the sounds of a car rolling on by. You can hear its boom, boom, boom of its semi-flat tire in the back.
Dakota does the routine of like, fold the blazer and the jeans and you put it in your backpack so it doesn't get dirty, you know, and then she like suits back up and pulls her knee highs up.
As I imagine there's a moment where the three of you come together just to agree to meet somewhere. Is it lights out, or is it movie theater? Or is it somewhere entirely different?
Well, I mean, if we're all stepping outside, or if we're...
Yeah, you're all stepping outside but the sires are following as well, not too far behind you.
Sure.
So there's not like a chunk of time for privacy immediately, but be patient enough, and there is.
Well, Dakota looks up as she's like tying her combat boot and pulling her socks up above her knees. That was enlightening.
Yes.
Does Dakota look? What kind of was like distressed, frustrated?
Like it's like high anxiety. It's like I started my night out and I was fucking doing Ollie's down by the docks, and now the two people we least expected are now in the know, and we know.
Yeah, it is a lot. We should all talk. Maybe we go back to the theater. I mean, unless we want to go to the pub, but the theater's a bit more private.
Yeah, there's nothing happening there. It's dead as a doornail.
Then let's meet there.
Swung by, we could get some cheesecake. Somebody's got to eat it.
I actually need something a little different tonight. I'm a bit hungry.
Okay.
Do you still have a herd?
I
herd marks?
do, yes.
You can use that if you want to not worry
I have
about
2
hunting.
in herd.
Then you can feed a total of 2 blood points from it this week. How hungry are you?
I'm at 3.
So you could feed down to 1, and that would be your herd usage.
I will do that.
Okay.
Well, we'll say then Ava kind of breaks away.
Yeah, we'll take some time. We'll see you back.
Yeah.
I
imagine
be there.
Dakota though and Ollie, make their way in their first to the movie theater. How has the movie theater changed over these past 2 years, Dakota? Has it changed at all?
Yeah, well, maybe. Imagine we finish the wine and cheese shop.
So as you stroll through, these got double doors as they slide across. Is it tile? Is it carpet?
I don't know. That's an Ollie Ava project, but I imagine it's completed now.
Rather, no matter carpet or tile, the insides are entirely refurnished. Money and resources clearly put in, and it seems ready for business at any opportunity, but it often sees none. You stride in with Ollie as you make your way over to a familiar table over by where the wine bar now sits completed. The two of you have a moment, perhaps, of not awkward silence, but just a comfortable, settling silence.
We're fucked, you know that?
What's new?
I mean, what's really the play here, Ollie?
I don't know, Red.
You really think that she's just gonna go away?
No, she's not gonna roll. Not that easy.
My cats. Sorry, it's
I heard a distant cat scream in the background. No, as the cat, you hear Bella in the distance,
Bella
killing a rat. As the scream is heard, Bella
I gotta keep
trounces
Snitch
in.
away, baby. He's gotta stay off our property.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry, my cat's just Princess Bella doing her thing. I mean, I don't know what we plan to do about it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we'll be the ones left standing, Ollie.
I think we will. I think we've been the pawns for so long.
But the pawns
I don't
always
know
go
if we-
first in chess.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is look how far we've come.
Oh, we've come a long way. That's the reason why I'm no longer in the place of giving no fucks, and I give all the fucks.
And as the words "all the fucks" come out, Ava strides in, feeling much more sated.
Did I miss anything?
Oh, introspection, lots of quick graveyard glances, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not really sure what to make of it. We've established ourselves. We have survived. What they say about up and coming businesses, like if you make it 5 years, you're down for the long haul.
Truly, we survived without them for the most part.
Completely, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And now they're here saying they've been part of this all along. And it's a little unnerving, to say the least.
Okay.
They played their part, right? Sienna tried playing you a number of times. We were witness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy helped make sure that Sybil get into her spot, and I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Like, my existence was it's bullshit. All of our existences are constantly at stake.
Yeah.
Interesting choice of words with vampires. Like, come on, pal.
I have many thoughts.
Do
y'all care about your sires, really? Like, how much on a scale of, 1 to want to keep them?
My sire has not been a part of my life in a while.
Do you care about Sienna? Really?
There was a time where I did genuinely care about her, yes. But she's been out of my life for so long that no,
Okay.
I mean,
so today is
there's
not
a little
that
winter
day.
there, but
I like this. That means we have 2 people in the know who are technically massive liabilities, but by our terms, disposable.
yes. Just a random side thought. You know what I also found funny is that Dakota, you actually made a game plan for them.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be
what is that about sitting in the room being like, this is happening. Oops. I waited 10 years while you were Bella's lapdog. Congratulations. It was really great of you. Yeah, it was really fucking great to be a slave to the sandwich. Fantastic. And what, they sit around with their thumbs up their asses, and then when they found out that a bunch of licks had come to the top, had killed off a sheriff, a few problems that they had just been sitting on, now they want to bring us in the fold.
Yeah.
The problem is they once again underestimated us, and we once again came out on top, though they continue to convince themselves that we are not. Without us, they can't do this. That means we actually hold quite a bit of power. And not that I'm here to fuck Jackson over. In fact, he is our one-way ticket to the top. And by the top, I mean whatever it is the fuck we want. The other 2, though, they have possibility. So thank you, Ava, for noting the fact that I can see through people's bullshit.
You know what I think was most interesting about that, all things considered? When I brought up Snitch, they said that he has his place, right? When I think of Rudy and Sienna and Snitch, they got what they got because of the deals that they made. Snitch has told me personally, and based off of his actions, he plays a very dangerous game, that he is interested most in preserving the Nosferatu. Rudy and Sienna are only interested in looking after their own asses. So they throw in with the winning lot. Am I reading this wrong? Does it feel like it?
Okay. It sounds exactly like what they're doing. The problem is they don't think we're smart enough to come out on top.
They don't.
Snitch is a problem in a totally different way. Because in that room tonight, 2 of them vouched for him, while in the same breath that they don't even have to take, by saying that they also can't trust him. Arm's length, but I trust him. Do you really? If I trusted you, I would hug you for fear that you would not pickpocket me. So how much do they trust him? Or, better yet, what is it they are protecting him from?
I just don't think they trust Kindred. I don't think it's a matter of snitch. I think
Maybe,
it's
but we were
Kindred.
We
lost you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, Dakota.
I understood
Once
the
again.
mouthing of fuck.
Yeah. That we got.
Maybe not.
No.
Check.
Ooh,
Hey,
Oh, there we
welcome
go.
back. Hey.
what I said is, I don't even remember. Fuck it. The point of the matter is, I don't actually think we can trust Snitch. I don't trust him. The
You
question is,
said
what is
something
he
about protecting
hiding?
him from.
What
I
are
think
they
was, like, the last
protecting
line.
him from or hiding him from?
Oh, and then Ollie said, they don't trust Kindred, and that's when you were. I don't know if that jars your
But
memory.
Yeah.
they still, that may be true, but they stood in a room with all of us tonight and trusted us.
Yeah, after
Pretended to
10
really
plus
well.
years. So,
Well,
I don't think that they trust Snitch because Snitch is the jailer. He is the warden of the most effective prison that has ever existed in Chicago.
a prison that I imagine, if Jackson knew was holding Lupine, would not exist anymore.
I think Jackson's more aware than you know. I don't want to play him foolish, but I don't think that that's something that he wanted to let Rudy or Sienna know. How do you think,
perhaps.
curious, how would the Rose Garden feel if they knew that a primogen was keeping an alpha just chilling in their basement?
Well, it's not there anymore.
No.
And I hate to break it to both of you, but we've got a big fucking hunter problem. And I
We
feel
do.
like if we're like, oh, by the way, Jackson, we've got one of the scariest hunters Chicago's ever seen, putting bombs on our doorstep.
Look, it's been a few years, but I bet he's still there. He was an agent. He said he was sitting near the top. They all listened to him. It's the fucking bald guy, Mr. Pink, as he called himself.
Mr. Pink. Let's say we talk to Mr. Pink again. See what their interests lie in all of this. Because if they can get Vitel, then we don't have to. Sybil probably watches him like her prize. Until we know their movements and why they do what they do, we can't make a plan against them.
Do we think Mr. Pink could do that?
It's been years. The guy may have bit it, right? He's
I
human.
can only hope.
He was already old when I met him last. And it's been at least 4 or 5 years since I saw him. So who knows? He plays a dangerous game. He bleeds way more than we do. His recovery is a whole lot less than ours.
Yeah.
So I can check, right? I can check, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I just know where it's at. And it's nestled pretty fucking close to the park where the lupines are at.
Right. And what about the Witch of the Yards?
Who, out of game, who went with me last time? Was that Dakota or was that Ava?
We both went, I think, once, and then you went by
Who went
yourself
with
the
the
last
leaf?
time.
Who,
Okay.
I need to know who did? Who went with the
I
leaf
think it was
last time?
you just by yourself.
You
No,
might
there
have
was
The
just-
leaf-
somebody.
With the
somebody
leaf,
was
you went
with
by
me.
yourself.
I don't remember. Or maybe
Okay.
it was
But
all of us.
Dakota has been once because I remember Dakota. It was the very first time we went. Remember, because we wandered through that maze or whatever, and she kind of got us. We followed the guy and got us lost basically until she popped up because Dakota spoke to her once, and then Ollie went back by himself to deliver the leaf as exchange.
I just thought somebody was with me because she said that I had like free invites to the yard, that I should come back anytime.
Maybe that was Ava. I know it wasn't Dakota. I had too much.
I thought it was Ava.
Yeah, I think it's Ava.
Yeah,
it looks like Chad's agreeing. I think it was Ava that went.
Yeah,
I barely remember.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, it's been years, guys. So some things are foggy.
Yeah, some episodes are probably being merged in memory, but the important bits are not being forgotten. I don't think.
But yeah, she did say there was an open invite.
For Ollie, yes.
That out of game or above.
She burned your mask, didn't she?
The first mask, yeah.
Yeah.
My first full prosthetic, not the actual black mask. That black mask was actually broken by Dakota. She smashed it off of my face.
That's right. I forgot. Getting hot and heavy, and it got smashed.
By hot and heavy, you mean getting my ass kicked in an alleyway? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, close enough.
It's fine.
No. This was in the bar when we were fighting in the bar. It was like
shit. I remember that. Oh my god, that was a long. Yeah, okay. Well, that was a long time ago. Today is one of those nostalgic days, everybody. We're remembering things.
And I brought the sires came into the picture, and it was just a nostalgia trip.
Like our whole brains just went to mush. Like I think everybody was like shell shocked.
Yeah, I'm so funny. We weren't expecting your sires.
Look, Mr. Pink, if he's still around, it's gonna look real sus if you're both there with me. It's gonna look like we're trying to bite off more than we can chew.
You would all know, especially Ollie, though, too, that the SI are disjointed. There's very little chance that Mr. Pink knows of her. There's no SI is a broad general term that Kindred used to encompass all different kinds of SI, from religious zealot and independence all the way to government spooks like Mr. Pink. SI is just a broad term. They're not a coordinated, multi-armed effort, with the exception of the government one. But even then, they're like bits and pieces don't talk to each other properly.
Yeah,
sure. It's way more disjointed than that.
You mean in most traditional governments?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Just so that's out there, just keep that in mind.
Look, I don't want to call control of the rest of our night, but I can go see off to Mr. Pink. And I can go see to the witch. And you're more than welcome to come with me to the witch, but...
No, she gives me the heebies and the jeebies.
Same. I'd rather not.
I actually, I'm gonna actually run into some Anarch territory tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Why?
Because what's left of the Thin Bloods are there.
Oh.
And if Rosa was, in fact, working with Saito, I know for a fact his greasy little hands were all inside the Thin Blood railroad that was coming through that area.
When you say the name Saito, Ava kind of, her eyes dart again a little bit.
Can I read into that? What's up?
You're welcome to. You've known Ava for 15 or so years at this point.
Ollie just rolls his eyes at this.
You don't. It's up to her if you want.
I know there's a soft spot for Saito, but is this like your eyes dart like you're guilty of something? Yeah.
Yes.
Dakota knows.
Do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something's happened around the Saito
it's
train.
again, Ava's she is a master at maintaining composure. Even on a surface level, anything that breaks that is like a red flag.
Dakota has now read your eye movements. There's the eye roll. There's the big eyes. There's
the eyes of the window into the left over shoulder.
To the left eyes is I'm guilty as fuck. I've done something.
Yeah.
Dakota
when she moves her hair a little bit.
But yeah. Makes note of it.
Get it.
And she says, okay, whatever that's about. By the way, we got another shadow bar, Mathis.
Oh shit.
I just noticed it on the screen. Thank you for filling that bar.
Thank you.
Every time it has to do with Saito. It's his name. It just brings out the shadow and all of
the
us.
shadows.
But he left it, and from what I can tell, or what I word on the street, is that the Thin Bloods are leaving this city, unclaimed by the Anarchs and not given a chance by the Camarilla. Jackson's gonna need followers, loyal people. And right now in the city of New York, they have seated a thin-blood primogen.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you two probably wouldn't have known that, but Jackson informed me Dakota.
We kind of talked about it, so Dakota's
Okay.
sharing the know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So like that you two is the first time you're hearing of a thin blood primogen in New York. That's very bizarre.
Much the way that Sybil is using the La Sombra, the seats, to gain loyalty.
Does Dakota call out Ava in her bizarre eye dotting, by the way? We kind of got sidetracked and laughed. I don't
Not
know
in
if you
front
did.
of Ollie.
Okay, cool.
Just in case it's sensitive. Like, I don't know if she had like a sexy dream or like what happened. You know what I mean?
Vampires
like,
don't dream. That's important.
A daydream a night dream. She had like a night
it.
dream, or there was something. She found something of his. Like I think Dakota's trying to be empathetic and
enough.
sensitive.
Got you. No problem. That's all. I just wanted to make sure we
your
didn't
dirty
forget.
laundry, Ava.
Because Ollie rolls his eyes openly, I imagine. He's like, God damn it.
Dakota just notes it. We'll have that conversation at some point.
Sure.
But yeah, the thin blood are Jackson's move for numbers. Nobody gives a fuck about them. And the Anarchs aren't strong enough to do anything for them. So we set up a little helpful process, bring the thin bloods in under secrecy until Sybil's out of the way, and then he has an army, and as horrible as it sounds, we have a lot more bodies on our side when war potentially breaks out. They may not be terribly strong, but they will be in number, which is something that Sybil won't have.
If I may pose a reminder, in case you forgot out of game, I don't know, it's been a long time. Maybe even Dakota thinks of it, or all of you think of it. A potentially great place for that could be Needles' church.
Is Needles still with us?
Yeah.
Did he?
There was. Yeah, right. He's not dead, is he? Is Needles dead?
I don't think Needle. I don't recall Needles dying.
Me either. I don't think he's dead.
I thought Needles was dead.
Yeah, hang on.
He's not.
Please don't tell me. Chat, is Needles dead? Oh, that's
Needles
correct.
was kidnapped by
Layla.
Layla.
That's right. That was the end season
Real
premiere. That was the
close.
end episode reveal. Thank you very much.
Dang it.
Yep, he took him.
I think
Needles has been
Layla
missing for 2 years. Never
killed
mind.
him.
And his church has been taken by. It would have been the Anarchs then. They would have moved in.
So,
Yeah.
I was going to go try to play nice with the Anarchs, if there is such a thing.
Well, do you need help? Do you want me to go with you?
Hunting down the Anarchs? Probably not, but I'll be happy to walk you back to wherever you're going. Dakota makes eyes like, I want the tea. What is up with Saito?
Does Ava want to hold that to just have a private conversation, or is she something that she wants to tell both of them
I
about?
actually would want to. I think I would tell both of them.
Dakota does the sister thing that's like, I'm here if you want to talk about it in private, right? But if that cues Ava to talk about it together, go for it.
Yeah. Because Dakota's assuming it's like a heartbreak, kind of like, oh, I'm missing kind of thing.
Are you struggling? Please don't cry.
Right.
Don't cry.
Actually, it's fine. I can. I've just been having kind of a rough night. Even before Sienna showed up.
Ava, you're dead at night. What do you mean rough night?
I woke up this evening, and I had a dream. I think. Yeah.
Like a dream, like a sleepy dream?
Yes, I think that's what it was. As I literally, it wasn't a vision like I usually have.
Do you dream, Ollie?
No.
When I was alive, I had some real fucking wild ones, but
that's one of the first things you learn is Kindred don't dream. They kind of just close their eyes and open them back up, and it's nighttime again.
I don't.
I'm telling you, I don't understand either. That's why it's kind of messing with my head right now. I dreamt of Saito again. I dreamt of him. I saw him again.
Do you say again?
Yes. Well,
so you've seen Saito more than once?
I told you I saw him the other day, and this time I saw him again, and it was more clear. He was there in a dream. And he was there with a girl. She was playing the piano. She was
girl.
I couldn't tell she was young. And it was the music that I heard. It was similar. It was a song, and I know exactly what the song was.
What is it?
Moonlight Sonata. I could never forget that.
A classical song?
That's the song that woke
Yes.
Nero up, that he's going to take you to
It's
the
the song-
concert to.
It's the song that I'm going on a date with Nero to see perform.
Like, wait. Okay, let's back up. You're going on a date with Nero? We've been working on this for a while.
I mean, he did invite me to go to a concert. So
That's
yeah.
dope.
I know. Our dates are just kind of us sitting in silence, and now we actually get to
That's awkward.
enjoy something. But it's the song that he keeps talking about. It was in my dream, and Saito was there.
You're a Toreador.
I don't-
He's a Toreador, and you're both dreaming when you're not supposed to be about the same fucking song?
I don't know. I don't know what it means.
Have you spoken with Nero about this? If he's also dreaming the classical ditty.
No, I haven't spoken to him yet. Maybe that's why he's. Oh, we lost you again, Dakota, I think. Just maybe that's why he is interested in me. Maybe there's something there that he sees that I don't see. I don't know.
Does Ollie say anything as he hears all this? As details of this, while the story of her dream is relatively vague, there are details that are matching a story you heard a few years ago.
Yeah, but like Ollie is also as informed as he is, it's probably not one of those things where he's like, oh, the Moonlight Sonata, that makes sense. It's
No,
probably
yeah.
one of those things where like he has to hear the song, like, wait a minute, I fucking know that song because he doesn't
Where have I
memorize
heard
that
it
like
before? Yeah.
Yeah, he's not being like, oh yes, this orchestral piece, please let me
Yeah,
elaborate.
Dakota's like, it's classical.
Does Ollie like voice that? Like, what does it sound like? What is a song? I'm just curious if he just keeps to himself.
I think it's one of those things where he needs to hear it. If he hears it, then it's gonna rouse that memory.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
It's been on my mind. That's all. So.
And every time it's on your mind, so is Saito?
Yes.
Why is he always at the middle of some bullshit?
I don't know, but if I'm going to start getting involved with this La Sombra stuff again with Rose, this might mess with me more than I thought it would.
Does Ava seem visibly shaken?
Yeah, she's pretty shaken. Again, she has not seen Saito or thought of Saito in a very, very long time. And now he's shown up twice in the matter of 2 nights, basically.
It's okay, Ava. It could just be a fluke, right? Just an accidental, serendipitous thing. It's okay.
Nothing has ever been serendipitous with any of our encounters.
They made that fucking clear tonight. Except for Dakota.
But you know what? It's fine. We have a lot of things we have to deal with right now, and a lot of things that we have to handle. So I'm going to keep doing my thing with the roses, and you guys take care of the things with Anarchs. Mr. Pink, I'm going to...
Ava, can you make me a resolve composure check?
Yes. Resolve composure.
4d10 for you.
Oh.
As you attempt to push this down, remove it from your mind, try to urge the coterie to move on. In the back of your mind, you just begin to hear another note. And you cannot get it out of your head. Echoing near you as though the piano were feet from you. You turn to look. And as you turn your gaze in the direction it comes, you see nothing. It feels like it should be there, but it is not. Yet, you hear it.
Ava.
There is a moment, yes, that Dakota and Ollie watch her stare off. She snaps her head in a direction. She looks, and there's nothing there. You don't know what she's looking for. Her sentence is cut short, her focus gone. As she turns back around, you see the tiniest little black veins around the crux of her eyes.
Ollie.
But it dissipates as the music eventually does.
She just kind of focuses again at Dakota. What were we saying?
How your dreams are clearly just very serendipitous and not that important at all.
Right.
Right, and that you are A-okay and completely oversighted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the bar.
Yeah. If you needed some fresh air, you could walk with me into Anarch territory.
Maybe I'll walk with you that direction.
Ollie, I kind of turn and make like serious eyes at Ollie. Be careful.
When am I not?
Is that a rhetorical question?
I think it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it. We'll also be careful. Okay. You should just be proud I know what rhetorical means. Dakota says it, she like walks away.
Studying.
Yeah. Try really hard.
And all of you, go your separate ways. Ollie, heading to the Witch of the Yards, I am understanding correctly, or somewhere else?
You know what? Your flavor here, pink or yards?
Your choice. Don't ask me.
All of the above.
Where do you start?
I'll start. I'll start at Mr. Pink.
Reaching out to a number long forgotten, one of the very few payphones that still work in the area. Make your way over and shoo off somebody who's babbling to themselves, clearly high on some sort of narcotic. And as they go stumbling off, shouting at some other passerby as they clutch at their wallets and walk around, you make your way to the spray-painted payphone, dangling by a cord. Pick it up and hang it up a few times and slide a few quarters in and make a call. You hear the other line after only one ring pickup, but nothing is said.
Mr. Pink.
Location. A voice you don't recognize.
Tell Mr. Pink that I'm meeting him in the alley where I met him last a few years back. Big guy. We had talked. He'll know. I'm kind of unforgettable.
After those words finish and there's a few moments of silence, you simply hear a click on the other side. Ollie strides his way to a familiar location between warehouses, an alley where last you were here, covered by gunfire and positional snipers. As you arrive invisible?
Yeah, I kind of want to scout the area by rooftop first to see what it's like.
Yeah, make me just a wits awareness or wits inspection would also be fine.
I don't think inspection's a thing.
Oh yeah, not inspection, investigation. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with wits awareness.
Okay. So a quick look as you hop around from from rooftop to rooftop, looking for your best.
One success.
Do you want to reroll 3 or just stick with the 1?
I'll stick with the 1.
You can see a very obvious sniper across the way, sat with the gun leaning up against the window, with a silhouette sitting on a chair, plucking away at what seems to be a phone.
He's not actually even watching the street. He's just
Doesn't
kind
seem
of
like this guy is watching. No, he seems like he's relaxing.
okay. Is the window open?
Yes.
And is he sitting
Just
like
enough. It's like just open enough where you could stick the barrel through.
Gotcha. All right. And he's just sitting on his phone.
Yeah, you got one success, so that's all you see.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right,
he's just sitting there on his phone. You see the dull glow of technology in the palm of his hand.
Knowing that he's there, I'm going to move to the mouth of the alley and remove myself from obfuscate.
And we snap into existence, a ripple-like effect to our viewers' eyes, as we see from above Ollie walking into the alleyway, almost a perfect parallel shot sitting above you. You walk, only seeing the top of his head. And as you make your way toward the center, out from around different buildings and out through a different door, we see 3 others spill out and meet you halfway.
Oh, wait. Hands in
As
pocket.
you stop and wait, you see the 3 make their way and become more clear in detail. Mr. Pink is not among them. As they walk, our camera swoops down and we sit on Ollie's shoulder as we see these young individuals, 2 women and a man, all somewhere in their 20s. Both the women with really short hair, one buzzed and one just barely ear length, and the man a completely shaved head. The woman with the buzzed cut steps forward. You were the one looking for Mr. Pink.
Yeah.
Reassigned. How can I do you for?
Pink had tapped me as an informant.
Never told me about any informants.
That's why I was given the number.
And what are you? Actually, as she asks that, she looks back.
You know what I am.
As you say that, she looks around and somebody in behind gives a nod. Yeah, you're a fucking blank body. So why aren't we going to put you down and dust you right here? Mr. Pink don't work for you no more, and he certainly ain't reaching out and telling me about you. So clearly didn't see you were important.
We didn't work for each other. It was supposed to be mutually beneficial.
Well, you presented yourself like a gift. So you're either going to be my beneficial evening, or you're going to offer something juicier than yourself.
All right, let's get something straight. Yeah, I'm a blank body. Sure. Then you know that I'm capable of doing things. No, this isn't a threat. But I came out here to meet you in this alley. I expected Mr. Pink. He was wise. He didn't come out with force at his sides. He informed me about those that he had with him, and I'm not stupid enough to think that just you 3 are the only ones.
You're a smart man. And Mr. Pink and I have different approaches, and his approach ended up with a Chicago in chaos. People like you, creatures like you, running amok, while others grow stronger. So I'm going to hear and clean up this fucking mess. Now,
Maybe you're willing to hear me out before you start pulling some triggers. Is that fair? Can we just do that? I'm not trying to do anything weird or fishy here.
she shrugs. You got a minute. Go.
First and foremost, hopefully you are aware that you're not the only sect. You're not the only hunters in this city. Yeah, Chicago's in disrepair. It's been in this state for a long while. And yeah, I'm a blank body, but I'm a blank body that's actually trying to do other things, not trying to just feed. And I'm not asking you to believe me. Shit. Learned that lesson a long time ago. What I can say is that I'm the closest thing to a white blood cell in this horrific pile of disease that you're going to find in the blank body network. I aim to clean up some of the messes that my kind make. I didn't want to be what I am. I don't want to be what I am. But let's get this straight for a second. I'm not trying to end up just a pile of dust because I'm trying to right some wrongs. I've been given an opportunity, and I aim to keep it that way. So let me tell you about some of your real problems. All of us blank bodies know that you're here. They're all aware. They talk about it. Hell, we've got our own little communication network where we talk about it. But I don't talk about it. Nobody knows that I was affiliated with Mr. Pink. None of them. But they're all aware of this street. That's fine. You're not stupid. We also know what works on the other side of that park. They're not like us. They're also not exactly extremely allergic to the methods of dispatching blank bodies. But they are starting to move. They're starting to organize. You know what I'm talking about. The wolves.
Like I said, under Mr. Pink's watch, plenty of problems grew out of control.
Sure. Well, right now I can say this. You hunters are drawing a lot of attention because a new set of hunters have moved into the city. This set of hunters aren't afraid to use bombs in the open street, calling out names. Literally bombing. I like to think that you're a little more organized than that. At least Mr. Pink led me that way. Now, sure, you might have a differentiating set of opinions, but I can imagine that you're not trying to alert everyone in Chicago that hunters are that sloppy.
I appreciate the history lesson on Chicago, but what is your proposal, Mr. Hopkins? Or I wouldn't know your name. What is your proposal, blank body?
Is there a way that we can come together to snuff out some of our problems?
And what happens when we acquire our cooperative task? You want me to walk away and let a leech like yourself still suck the blood out of the people of Chicago?
Let's just see if any of us get to walk away first. I'm not a problem. Okay, all right. To you, you're probably going to see me as that. It's just a problem. But there are things that are infinitely scarier in this place than me. They don't function the same way. It's like in a movie where they don't have to abide by the rules. A simple stake will not do them in. A couple of rounds of fancy bullets just ain't going to do them in. Things that are actually real boogeymen, not gnats. Things that are real problems.
Well, quite the salesman. I may not have been doing this as long as Mr. Pink, but I am no fool. I don't trust a goddamn word you say. That being said, I'm curious who you want to throw under the bus. Who are you throwing our way? You want us to go handle this other hunter problem for you? Or why? Why wouldn't I let them run rapid? Because you're worried they might expose us? We are not terroristic psychopaths. We work under the thumb of protection, government. Yeah, we do things orderly and nobody will know it's us if it happens.
Because this terroristic psychopath isn't afraid to wipe you out either. And, well, let's face the obvious. They're one of your kind, not one of mine.
Oh, let's not get that twisted. They are not one of our kind. We did not train them, whoever these people are. I'm sure there are plenty that you would say are similar when it comes to walking corpses.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. Look, I got a name. I don't know if it means anything to you, but I'm willing to pass that name along. So maybe you can do some research, figuring out what their method is, why they're doing what they're doing, and why they're trying to out all of the hunters, all of the blank bodies, and just how many of you and your friends might end up in the crossfire of them.
So you want us to do a little research for you?
Oh, my research is a lot more bloody because they're looking for me regardless. I'll find them, but I would hate to see innocents get caught up in the crossfire. Real people. I don't know your name. Do I just call you Hunter?
Call me Scarlet.
Scarlet. Real people. Real breathing people that still have a fucking chance.
I believe you believe this information to be important to you. I still concern myself with its importance to me. So I need something more tangible from you.
What do you need?
Give me the name of some blank body. Give me something actually useful that I can act on.
You want the name of a blank body, so you want me to roll on someone?
I want to begin rooting out this city.
All right. I'll give you one. He's one of our real boogeymen.
I'm all ears.
Marcus Vitale.
Do you have that? No, one of the guys, the one male behind, he nods as he plucks away at a device. If this leads down a path of dead ends and fool's errands, I will have you instead.
Sure. And then I can leave you with a second bit of information, since now you have Marcus. That hunter, they just go by Layla.
She squints her eyes, but there is no visible recognition on her face. Phenomenal. Isn't there I feel like I read a book series as a kid. Quaint. What a coincidence. Funny.
You
Maybe
know,
she took the name on.
what if I told you that book series was about an actual hunter by the name of Layla? And they're the same person.
Wouldn't surprise me necessarily.
Well, what have you read in that book? It's probably true. Because Layla's real.
It's been a while since I've picked up one of the Layla books. I think I was 13. And then she seems to trail off for a moment into kind of whimsical thought, but quickly captures herself and brings herself back to attention. Well, what do I call you?
Butcher.
About as subtle as I would expect, I guess. Butcher.
Different life.
Butcher. I'd say it was a pleasure to meet you, but
We both know it's a lie.
she nods, and with that, on the ball of her foot, spins and begins to walk away.
Do I call the same number Scarlet? Or do I meet you here where I got trained guns on me that are dicking around on their phones?
She doesn't stop walking. You have the number.
Get better help. I turn and I walk away.
And on that line, as Ollie walks off, it's leaving the alley and turning onto the street, disappearing from view, we cut. Ava and Dakota. You stroll out and wander the streets, but you're making your way into Anarch territory. Is there a conversation you have along the way? As there would be some time.
So you want to maybe tell me what's really bothering you?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like everything's kind of happening really fast again. We've been just kind of in our routines, our usual routines of everything. And I've been getting used to it all. And I guess just getting shaken up again like this between the dreams and seeing Sienna. And it's just kind of, it's a lot.
Well, amidst all of that, what have you done for Ava lately?
I mean, I've been going out like every night, which is good.
Do you do that for you? Or do you do that for your reputation?
Yeah, the latter.
Yeah, what did you do for Ava?
She like thinks for a minute. I redecorated the penthouse.
Okay, well, you know what? Some people believe that there is an art to redecoration, feng shui, right? So, I'm sure some people find some solace in that, some joy.
What is there to do? Like, do you do things for you, Dakota? Do you have...
I wake up every day for me. It's the only way to survive, Ava. The moment I stopped giving a fuck what everybody else thought is the only moment I started to live.
I do admire that about you.
I appreciate the admiration. Some people would say you're really stupid for that. But that being said, I think there is something strange going on. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Kindred aren't supposed to dream, and you and Vitel sharing a song.
Nero,
I'm so sorry. You and Nero sharing a song in such an intimate way is a little strange and above my pay grade.
Yeah. Mine too.
Does Nero often hear this song, or is it like you said it woke him?
From 150 years sleep, it woke him.
Yeah, it woke him, and he does talk about it often. It's like obsessive to him. Like the guy, I like him, but he's also a little obsessive about this whole thing. He's a
Toreador, Ava. But I that it's kind of part of the deal, right? Like you have to have something to obsess over.
I seem to always pick the guys who have this really bad obsessive nature over something, and it becomes very detrimental. So that's not.
Ava
I don't.
has a type.
Well, yeah, and okay, so you're supposed to see Vitel again. Maybe hearing the song for real will, get it out of your mind.
That's a good point. Hearing it live, hearing somebody perform it, I'm not sure what it'll do to him or me.
Okay, well, that's not where I saw that going. I meant maybe it'd be a good
not
thing.
like that. I mean, like, what if we start having weird visions and shit? I don't know. You know what? Every time I've been having weird visions my whole life, or my whole unlife, I guess. So I shouldn't let it get to me.
Have you talked to somebody about how to maybe read your visions?
Who could I talk to?
Somebody else that has visions. I mean, there's a crazy witch that lives in a junkyard, and she's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? In touch.
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, if I talk to people about this, it's hard for me to talk about my visions without telling them things that I see in them. And that is only a few people can really know about that.
Right. But I mean, okay. So when I started stalking Cretius and his classes, at first it was to kind of fuck with him, right? But then it was actually to liberate myself in a certain way. Because before that, I had kind of let everybody else tell me what to do, or I ran around in the dark. But if I had the knowledge to make decisions myself, then I could tailor my life experience. I guess what I'm saying, Ava. They don't have to read your visions. But somebody to help you understand how to read them could be really beneficial for, I don't know, like your mental health, which I learned is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or, some peace. Because one of the great joys of being a kindred is you don't have to worry about not sleeping at night, because when the sun rises, you're dead as a fucking doornail. And if your sleep is being interrupted, there is something wrong, Ava.
Dakota hits on something there. Out of game, there you may not remember, but when a kindred quote unquote sleeps, what happens? Do you remember? You technically come close to dying.
To dying.
Like
every
torpor,
night.
Right?
And so right, but you're technically dying. You're dead during the day.
Yeah.
What remains of you, of your soul, skirts the edges of the abyss while you sleep.
Dakota does not know that, but she does know we're kind of like dead.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that came up last season, but maybe it didn't.
Yeah,
I feel like it came up because of your visions.
Ava, but I'm not sure it came up for Dakota. That's she understands it as
Dakota saying
body.
that might spring that to mind. It might even remind you of the times you skirted the abyss consciously. Those times with that thick black river of limbs and Yeah. Just the thing. So if the visions are coming from the abyss or anything that might have to do with it, it would make sense that while you dream, if it's reaching out to you, it would be the easiest time to do so.
Yes, I just thought that I lost my connection to all of this quite some time ago when Saito did what he did.
Well,
you haven't so this you haven't felt Sybil's presence since.
Yeah.
You still haven't.
Yeah.
There are always scars left behind, Ava. And she doesn't control you anymore. So if anything, Saito tried to free you. The question is, why do you keep seeing him? He is dead, right? Or dead again.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So let's say when we sleep, we're like dead-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The body is inanimate, and what's left of our little beastly soul is not in the body. Where is it?
Close to the abyss.
Really?
Yes, it essentially skirts it.
Well, that makes sense. If you're technically skirting the abyss, the question is, why are you seeing it?
Yeah,
if
that's
that's
still
where Saito is, and why the fuck is the abyss got classical music playing?
I don't know. It doesn't really make sense.
I'm gonna make a stop on my way back tonight. I'm gonna get you something. If they're
something?
open. Yeah, something. I can get things.
What?
Nice
What are you
things.
getting?
Well, it's a surprise. That's how it works. I can't.
I hate
tell
surprises.
you. I know. Which is why this is how it's gonna go down. Because you need to let go a little bit. Ava Heloise, like, let go. Have some fun. Go, I don't know, pee on a sidewalk, kick a trash can.
That's not what I would call letting go, but okay.
Well, that's how
sure.
I do it. Whatever. Go take a hot bath or get a massage or woo, fuck boy. Something.
You love a good fuck boy.
You gotta.
I do need a new one, don't I?
If it's true, Saito let you go and freed you of her, then stop letting her maintain control. You cannot fear her anymore. So go have some fun and stay away from the rack.
That's some good advice.
As there's the giggle from Ava, and there's that break in tension as you cross over the street, making your way through what little busy parts of the city still lie before you before making into the more uninhabited parts where the anarchs reside. Almost serendipitously, as you say the word fuckboy, there's Brett Stryker.
Oh my God.
A woman on his left and a man on his right, arms around both. He's in deep conversation with the man. And as he rounds the corner, he is about to bump into you before he turns and actually sees the both. He was like, what? Oh, wow. What serendipitous fortune that we all bump into each other. It's good to see you, Miss Ava. Good to see you, pup.
Brett, so good to see you as well.
Yeah.
My
you know,
watch says
and he
I'm
looks,
busy
right to
now, Brett. I will see you later.
I'm willing to trade these for the two of you if you want to come along with me tonight.
By the way, are they kindred or are they?
As you look, take a quick look and even feel like just being close. They're human. They're kind.
As kind and tempting as that is, I don't trade my body, Brett.
That's fair. Yeah. He looks to Ava, but Ava?
Dakota and I have some things to take care of, but
Unfortunate.
I'm curious where you're headed off to.
Now, we ain't breaking secrets. You come with me and I'll show you a good time. But if you have your own business to attend to, and he lays a kiss on the man's cheek and then back and on the other woman's cheek, I have people that will appreciate my company.
I have a question. Is he walking out of Anarch territory?
No.
Okay. I just see we were headed that way. I need to make sure he's
Yeah.
not coming from the wrong end of the
you're
block.
still in. Nope, you're still in Cam territory, and he's coming from Cam
Ava,
territory, it looks like.
Ava might go with him because she's actually still curious about this whole people going missing thing. So she looks at Dakota and she's like, maybe I will let loose a little. Dakota, take your advice.
Yeah, go for it, Ava. And I like lean in and I kind of say loud enough, I will see you later. Remember, you're smarter than him.
Yes.
Bye. And I hit my skateboard and just like pedal off. I don't want to be anywhere near this creep.
The camera kind of sticks with Brett for a minute, and he gives the guy a smack on the ass, and he's better luck next time, champ. Come on, Ava. And he like waves you to take his spot with his arm over your shoulder if you let him.
I will.
And as he pulls you close, he's like, man, I am excited now. Well, the night looked rather boring, but hey, plans change. Let's find a place to hang out. And he wanders off. And as he wanders off with you, it is very clear to you his attention is now almost fully on you. He just is doing what he does when he's around you, flirting and being obnoxious and doing his best to impress, I guess, is what, this fuckboy tends to do. Typical things. But we'll cut from there and return to the junkyards. A sky or view of the piles and heaps of aluminum and garbage, with the sounds of heavy machinery moving things around, and at its entrance strolls Ollie. It's been 2 years since you've been here, and yet it looks like no time has passed. Nothing has changed. It is as you remember it. Hell, it's hard to remember any details about this place anyway, with how much is around. You don't stroll long before, on your left, you hear a definitive jangling of heavy cans and tins with a raspy voice that shouts out, "Oh, what do you want?" And as you turn, there stands a man in a garbage bag, ripped jeans, and trash in little metal cans hanging by string in bits and bobs.
I've gone to see the lady of the yard.
Who the hell's asking for her?
Look, I've got free walk here.
I need a name.
Oliver Hopkins.
And he like hawks up a loogie and spits it across, hitting the dirt a foot ahead of him. Yeah. He looks around, and as he looks around, he points behind you from where you came. And as you turn, around a corner, a dim orange glow from a flickering fire can be seen. You separate from the man as he leaves, and you take a left and round that corner, and there sits a familiar fire, burning away. And sat cross-legged, without any clothes on, her long hair stretched down to her knees over her chest, a scrawny body and a very petite, mouse-like face, is the Witch of the Yards. She looks to you, her head tilts, and then she giggles. Does Ollie just approach? Does he stand there expectantly?
I'll stand and wait for the invite to the fire.
There's no true invite. She looks away from you, smiles again, and then reaches into the mess of her hair. As she does, pulling it out, tangled to it, is a leaf. She places it down by her side and then eagerly pats.
I'll descend.
We follow Ollie at knee-height level. We watch him walk, illuminated by the fire, nothing more than a dark silhouette, as he takes a seat, his face illuminated. And it is a familiar-looking leaf, even after 2 years. She giggles again, gestures over to it, but doesn't touch it. It was so obvious. It was just in our face the whole time, the answer, everything. Here. As always, nature tells its story for those who are looking and listening. What do you see when you look at the leaf? And as Ollie maybe, does he pick it up? Does he just look at it?
He just looks on. I don't know, I sit and wonder. how it's still alive.
It is not life. It is death. These veins, as she gestures and traces her fingertip across where the black veins fall through the leaf, they are the answer. They're the story. This death crawls through its veins, not because it wishes to kill the leaf. As you said, the leaf is still alive in its own weird way. No, it's a means to an end. These aren't veins, these are roads. They travel. It's using it to come here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what is on this? Do you understand how obvious it is? And she giggles again.
Sorry, I'm a bit of a simpleton.
Death crawls and claws at our very walls. It crawls through the land of life. It uses it as a husk. It uses it as a tool. It kills it by proxy, but not on purpose. A disease. It's coming here. It's using it to connect. If it hasn't already. She looks up to you.
What can we do?
She shakes her head. I don't know. I actually do not know. I know not what causes it, only what it does. I don't know. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. I don't know.
What would you like? What would help you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I would have to be there, I suppose. But I will not use or leave the yards. I'm sorry. But whatever this death is coming.
What if I knew a place where it was reaching through?
Where?
There's a church. It's being rebuilt for a friend. It's reaching through there.
So it is here in the city already.
I think it's been in the city for a while. Or at least trying to come through for a while.
Fascinating. I'm at a loss.
If you will not leave the yards, how can I bring more to you?
I don't want you to bring any more to me. It'll come when it's ready. I don't know if you can stop it.
What if someone's calling it?
Then would you not wish to stop them? Perhaps you can shout louder. Drown their voices with your own.
Maybe. But if you're so interested, do you want this here? Or do you not want this here?
I am torn. On the one hand, I would love you to leave it. I would love to study it more. But on the other, I feel myself becoming obsessed with it. It's the only thing I can think about. It leaves so many questions, and I am left baffled for the first time in decades.
Would you be upset if I brought you more?
Yes. Don't bring me more. I feel you should maybe take it. But it is your choice.
I'll take it from you.
Yes, that is a good decision. Are there any questions more? Perhaps I can give insight and...
It's been a few years since I've been here.
It has.
I was afraid that I would come too early, and you wouldn't have enough, or that I might annoy you.
I fear if you did not come, I never would have reached out.
What do you wish for in this place? You stay here, but you wish for and live for questions.
I seek closure. And in closure, answers. Your questions, I don't know yet. But here is my home. I am safe here. Those who wish to find me only find me if I choose. I wish not or care not who rules the city. I just wish for peace and to continue living my life.
Here's a question. What can I do to protect myself from this? He points to the leaf.
You have to stop it. Any leeway, it will take everything. You do not bargain with death. Death comes for all of us, even those on extended contracts, and she giggles. Nothing is permanent. And we kindred are abomination to such rules of nature. You
I
cannot
aim to close this door.
Yes.
I want to shut this off.
Yes, that seems the only logical answer. Where its source is, where it comes from, do you know?
It comes from two places.
One had to be first. A story doesn't start in the middle.
This comes from a land that I'm not familiar with, but I was told it's called the Hedge.
The Hedge. Oh, the Hedge. Oh, that makes sense. I've never been there. No, I've only met one being, one time, ever, who arrived from a place. Fascinating creatures, torn apart and reformed under the image of another land, changed at their core. This comes from the Hedge, then death is on the other side, no? That must be the implication.
Well, from what I was told, the Hedge is dying. That land is dying.
Yes.
And its
And she
creators.
gestures to the leaf as you talk. Yes, it dies by proxy.
But it seeks new life, or a way to continue thriving.
It looks for an entrance.
And it found a way through the abyss, dark place.
You know, a few years ago, there was someone attempting something similar in New York. I believe they failed. Such obsessions with foolish things, always finding their way to the surface.
But if it's from two places, and it found its way here, its new home is nestled in the third. It's here, It's everywhere. The place in the church, it's not the only place. There are others. And I'll try, but I'm only one man.
She looks to the leaf and peels away at the sides. You can kill and remove multiple roads, but as she peels away at all, the center stem still runs through the center. Or still stands strong, rather, with bits of leaf still attached. You cannot stop it unless the main door is shut. And she snaps it in half. Head of the serpent and all that.
I'm going to try to close the door.
I wish you luck. Sounds difficult.
If I found someone from that side, and I could bring them here, from the hedge, would you welcome them?
I would gladly speak with them. They come from an alien land I know nothing of.
They're a friend, but I am not sure that they're alive anymore.
She giggles at that. Life and death, as you've learned now, is nothing but a step through a veil. If he's dead, he's not far. And she looks at the broken leaf.
Do you dream?
No.
What does it? No, but what does it mean when we do?
She shrugs. I've never known a kindred to dream. It could mean many things. It could simply be a matter of manipulation via another clan. Blood magic from the Tremere. Potentially. Is she Malkavian?
No,
It wouldn't be
no,
that.
she's Toreador.
Fascinating. I don't quite know them well. They're very, very hard to talk to.
Yeah, they are.
No, I apologize if I wasn't able to give you everything you wanted.
No, it's fine. I'm sorry I didn't come sooner. Your wards have helped me immensely at my pub.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that.
If you ever feel like you want to venture out, and I know that you won't, the invite always stands.
It's so silly. You're silly.
I know.
I decided not to let people forget your name, and by the way. I know we made a deal, but I changed my mind.
It's okay. It makes it easier. I just wish they wouldn't spit after they said my name.
She reaches into her tangled mess of hair and weirdly removes something from it that I'm certain wasn't there a moment ago. It is your mask, the one she burned. I don't need this any longer if I'm not going to go through with it.
You know, it doesn't mean as much to me anymore either. I only wear this because it keeps people from asking questions. It's not who I am anymore.
Okay. And then she just throws it into the fire nonchalantly.
He watches it burn.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens to our little city. Maybe permanent night will truly arrive. It's a prophecy. She giggles. That's a prophecy I didn't think would come true.
I've heard a little about it, but it doesn't sound very good.
She shakes her head. It is as it sounds. It is when the veil between our world and death is shattered. And then kindred will rule.
Is there a date on that? Yeah. Any
She
Nostradamus timeline, like 2028
No.
or something?
But she looks at the leaf. Closer than it ever was before.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what we like to see.
But fear not, if you fail in closing the door, you will be the new rulers of our earth. Permanent night. Kindred are told to be more powerful than, and they will be able to walk amongst mortals and not be stopped. Even the wolves are supposed to take kneels and kneel before you. Us? Me? Yeah. And then she looks like she gets confused for a minute and then stares into the fire.
But if permanent night comes, our food will slowly die.
You could breed them like cows.
There's something that's sweet about the sunlight.
Mm.
Something that I miss.
It has been a long time.
Like a fire, I can watch on for a while, but I can't quite touch it.
Yeah.
Either way, there's plenty of night left, and I have people to talk to.
It was good to see you. Thanks for coming again.
Thank you for having me, and I promise to see you again before another few years.
I look forward to it. I rarely have regular visitors like yourself.
Ollie will stand up and kind of dust off his ass and his knees.
Mm-hmm. As you walk off, turn the corner. The crackling of the fire dissipates from your ears, and the glow is instantly gone. Ollie, where do you go for the rest of your evening?
Ollie's going to go to the pub. He's got a lot to mull over.
Ava, perhaps to your disappointment, it's very clear that whatever the plans were, they've changed. He no longer seems to be adamant about where he once was going, and now merely wishes to entertain you.
Joy.
Do you give him that attention, or do you break away eventually? It's something that Ava realizes relatively quickly, that he is now, again, he's not paying attention to the woman on his other arm. In fact, she eventually kind of strolls off, and he seems not to even notice initially. His attention becomes fully about you, as it tends to when you come around.
Unless he has something like actually important he wants to talk about. No. Then
Well,
she's
yeah,
gonna-
he wants to date you. He considers that extremely important.
Very important.
It's very important. But that's about it.
Unless there's any recent Toreador
Nah,
secrets. Nope.
He's like, you want to go to that club that we saw each other at that other night? Well, a few years ago now. I haven't seen you back there in a while, but and he starts gyrating his hips. As you saw him in just his banana hammock when he was there, and that was it.
Yeah.
And so he starts gyrating. I know you liked the moves.
Oh my God. She's like, Brett.
You know what, Ava? You come out with me tonight, and there is a kindred I would love for you to meet. You've never met her? I promise you haven't met her before. She's kind of new to the area. I don't know. Maybe you've heard whispers.
A new kindred.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, she's great. Her name's Portia. Do you know her? The name does not ring a bell.
It does not. I've not heard of her. No.
Oh, she's wonderful. I think you two would get along.
She arose?
Think so. Shit, she's hot. Okay, so I'm just assuming.
Okay.
She doesn't talk to me like a Ventru, so if she is one, maybe I don't know, but God, she's hot. God, she's hot. All right.
Yeah. How about you introduce me to this Portia?
Yeah, I would love to. I can't do that tonight, but maybe soon in the next few nights. Tonight, a little private time between you and me. It's been so long. We can catch up.
Where should I meet you?
Oh, he gyrates his hips silently with a smile.
Brett.
That's where you can meet me. The club.
Which club?
The one
that we met at?
Yeah, the one under, the one where we can bear our fangs, the fangs out club, the painted lady.
Okay. So how about in a few nights from now?
Okay.
We'll call it a date.
Oh my. All right. What night? 2 nights from now? You want to aim for let's see. Tuesday is let's do Monday. Monday is man titty night. Monday man titties. It's fantastic. We should go. Every man is going to be wearing no shirt, and I can't fucking wait.
Well, I have to check my schedule as I do have other dates.
We can do Titty Tuesday.
Oh my God. I'm about to punch him.
You are welcome to. You are welcome. You have slapped this man multiple times.
I have. Hasn't Ollie or Dakota also at some point punched him?
Yeah. I don't think that he would
I've
live
never
if
touched
he
him
did.
because I'm afraid I'd actually break his fragile little
final death.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll check my schedule. Maybe Monday. Sometime
there's Wacky
after.
Wednesdays too. Don't forget about Wacky Wednesdays.
Do you know every night the theme nights at the Painted Lady?
Okay, so we got Thirsty Thursdays, but ton of blood dolls come in. It's a great time. And Freaky Fridays. That's where the leather comes out. And there's just Sausage Saturdays. That's when the men don't wear their pants.
It's amazing that you
and then finally, of course, there's Safety Sundays. Everybody just kind of drinks juice.
Well, color me interested for Thirsty Thursday, as I love a good blood doll.
All right, Thursday, I'll pick you up at. You want to do midnight? I'll come pick you up in my own car. I'll drive.
I'll meet you there.
You don't want to come in the Porsche?
Oh my God. No, I have my own ride.
All right, your loss. I can't write. All right.
All right.
Date with Ava on Thursday. I hope Dakota finds out. And he snickers to himself. And if you don't stop him, completely self-absorbed that he actually got a date with you, just starts to march away from you. Just like completely happy
that was
with himself.
I'm done.
He's done. He's happy and he leaves.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's just like, this guy. You can't get anything from him that she actually needs. So she's just gonna go try to find
yeah, want to all meet up at Lights Out Pub basically as we roll toward the end of the episode. Basically, we're gonna cut to Dakota obviously and do what she's doing.
After Dakota's done with her thing, yeah,
sure.
We'll meet. I'll
so
head
then
back there.
We do a hard cut. Dakota on her own, skateboard rolling by. Where exactly in Anarch territory were you heading?
Wait for it. Okay, sorry. I reset my audio so that this scene wouldn't interrupt. I did it while we were in between.
Perfect. I love it.
That's a really good question, Mike. Okay, so I think what Dakota will
you called me Mike. That was so weird.
I know. Sorry.
I appreciate it.
It is your name, right?
Like, yeah. It's like, it's like the first time I've ever heard you call me my name.
Mathis.
No, it's fine. I am trying to rebrand as Mike. All right, it's fine.
Okay, so Dakota will take to the train yards, because that is actually territory next to what is technically Anarch territory now, correct? So I'm gonna actually I can map this for y'all here. So this is our neighborhood. This is Dakota's
there's a Lights Out
train
bar
track block basically. And then everywhere to the right, like in this Bridgeport area, is all Anarch territory. Yeah. Okay. Well, gang,
the Kindred lost a chunk of it. I mean, they lost a chunk of it when they got Mark's bar and all that stuff, and they returned it into like a homeless shelter. Remember, they're like helping the community.
The question is, what kind of impact does Dakota want to make?
Yeah, what's the goal here? What's the
goal is to make contact, specifically with Thin Bloods, but I have a feeling that's going to take some time because the last Thin Blood Dakota laid eyes on was years ago. There was a bar in Anarch territory. It is the one that Bass took control of.
Yes. That's right. That's on the 3-story building, right?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it's called.
I don't either. We'll have to ping Maggie.
What? I think this is what Dakota will do because she has to make herself known first, and the best way to really get contact with an Anarch is to piss them off. That's the way to do it. So Dakota goes for a little stroll.
Okay.
On her skateboard. She swings by the train yard. She checks on Bella, who is obviously getting smooches and scrooches for all the mini rats that she's keeping out of the territory.
There's a pile of dead rats that she has.
Hopefully every one of them are snitches. That's my hope. And Dakota checks to make sure no gangrel swing through. She kind of did that earlier. And then she picks up an old can of spray paint.
Mm-hmm.
Just, spare.
As you rattle it around,
yeah,
there's
rattle
still
it
some
as
in
I'm
there.
like
You can
skating,
hear it, though.
and I make a lot of noise as I'm
Okay.
coming down the road into kind of Anarch territory. And I'm going to kind of skate the blocks. Dakota's looking for a couple things. She's looking for markings from the Anarchs. Like, what is their new territory markings?
Sure.
Not the old ones. And yeah, Dakota's going to tag a wall. What better way to let them know you've been here? Because if they got beef, they just got to step one block over. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember, because after Saito left, the Giovanni kind of tried to take control, and you killed him?
Dakota.
Remember the fight in the bar, right? There was a fight where you killed the Giovanni, did you not?
Did I
Not you specifically,
okay.
but I think maybe the coterie did. I think. I'm trying to just remember how that went. There was, because remember, he was like Saito's
Crowley.
friend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we
So that
did.
got all
we
tied
did.
up
We
then.
did away
Okay.
with him.
Damn.
That's for sure.
Cool.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
wanted to make
Whatever
sure.
his
Yeah,
name was,
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that now. Good call.
That's right. It was because he used celerity and all that
Yep,
stuff.
yep, all
Yeah,
kinds
yeah,
of things
okay,
to
okay.
get rid of that situation.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. So you're just making a noise and trying to draw attention.
yeah. Basically, she's trying to do one of two things: draw them out, because if it is a real problem that she's encroaching in their territory, somebody is going to come back and send another message. They'll either tag back, they'll come knocking, they'll say the fuck off my territory. She'll get in a fight, which she's also totally prepared for right now, because she rode up into somebody else's
You
territory.
ready for any of it, like any of it to happen?
She's just trying to see who notices, who takes notice, who's actually in charge now in this area. That's another thing. Is like, who's in charge?
That's that's information you don't necessarily have
So
right
she's
now.
trying to use some street smarts. She's trying to kind of rattle the
Give
pot.
me actually, I'm just gonna roll real quick myself. Yeah, let's actually wait on that one. 2 successes, okay. And you're not being super quiet, right?
Oh,
like,
no,
you're just
the goal is to be noticed. I want them to be
Okay.
like, oh, that fucking gangrel that lives over
You're
there,
off.
what she's doing.
in an alley, tagging at some point, maybe even hucking the empty can into the nearby garbage, like that just makes a loud bang noise. And as you've been doing so on the buildings, taking in the new graffiti and some of the old, trying to figure out what might mean what, your attention is quickly caught. You turn your head to the left as a figure seems to jump or pop out from the nearby dumpster, not too far from you. But the figure is small, a little girl.
Like how?
McTavish's partner.
Oh, fuck her.
She looks over to you with an inquisitive look and has her arm very much by her side in an aggressive way, but doesn't pull a weapon.
Hey.
And as you go, hey, from behind you, you hear McTavish's voice. You're lucky I ain't fucking put something through your chest and killed you. What the fuck are you doing right now?
I came to chat, just trying to get your attention.
About what? And he, as he says, he goes, don't turn around. About what?
I wanted to have a little chit chat about your disappearing thin blood problem.
Doesn't sound like a problem to me.
Well, that's where you and I differ a little bit.
Ask.
In fact, I'm not here to ask a whole lot of you. A few blocks that way, I've got a train yard. It's a pretty chill place. We don't point guns at each other. I thought maybe if a few thin blood pass through your territory and you're not in need of them, you could point them to a safe place to rest their head.
There is silence from the other side as you watch the little girl just kind of keeps eye contact with you as you stand and watch her. What's the suggestion then? Build their own little army?
No.
Thin bloods?
To give everyone a chance. You're welcome too, you know, to the monthly gather.
I got my own shit to deal with. Bigger fish to fry.
The kind of great thing about a gather is we deal with shit together.
Well, good news for you. I ain't seen a thin blood in a while. Trickle of them here and there every once so often, but eventually the trickle turned dead and they ain't showing up. I see one, I'll point him in your direction. I don't want to deal with that shit anyway.
Perfect. I love him becoming my problem. So use that great charm of yours, McTavish, and you let them know. Dakota's got an open door.
Just so you know. If I don't deem them trustworthy, they get put down first before they ever see the light of day in your eyes.
Well, as we've stated, you and I seem to have different perspectives on quite a few things in this world. So, if anybody needs to put them down, I'm happy to do it. But send them to me first. Let me be that judge of character. That way it's not a burden on you and your important life.
I don't get what they see in you, but for now we have the same goals. We'll leave it at that.
Well, you know what? I don't see what they see in you, but here we are, McTavish, making deals, swinging words.
Yeah, one of us is effective.
Yes, one of us is.
There is no reply. Silence for a few moments. And then after that, you see the little girl just go, bye. And she scampers off.
Hey,
As you turn around.
McTavish?
As you turn around, McTavish is gone.
If you're still listening, there are a few folks that have some issues with your young apprentice. Hey, I know that reference. It's Star Wars. Your young apprentice. From one gangrel to another. Watch your back.
There is no reply.
I'd add a nice little, like, F.
Yeah, and tag it.
You till it's empty, and then I sling the last cannon to a trash bin, and
It just... Off you go. To join the rest of the coterie at the Lights Out pub. And that's where our camera goes. A hard cut to the booth in the back. Business is not quite booming like it was the night of the fight. But hey, it's a nice night and money is rolling in. Dakota being the last to arrive. Arriving at the booth, you find Ava and Ollie having recently sat down. Grant is leaning over the booth, and as he says, "Oh, hey, what's up, Red? All right, boss. I got back to work. Hey, we did, but hey, like I said, we made some good money tonight. So if I could get a little forward on my pay."
Yeah, sure.
I just gotta get my sister a gift. You know, birthday's coming up, like I told you.
Of course.
Is he lying?
Ollie would know. No, his sister's
he
birthday
genuinely.
is
I need to make sure he's not in some seedy shit. He's asking for an
Oh,
advance.
yeah,
You know
no.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Ollie is aware his sister's birthday is coming up.
Okay,
and,
so that's legit. Okay.
he plans to buy her a really nice hookah. Is his plan.
That's thoughtful.
He loves that shit.
Hey, to each their own.
Anyway, and he claps Ollie on the shoulder with a greasy hand clap, not even thinking about it. I got to finish this shit up and start to close up for the evening. Have a good one. Good to see you. And Ava, just tell me when.
Of course.
Bye. And he waves and leaves, leaving you all alone in your privacy.
It's the reason I bought 10 of this fucking shirt.
As you look over in this is greasy handprint just on
never
his
gonna come
shoulder.
out.
Well, I would call tonight a success. We all made it.
It's what we do. We survive, right? Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
What about the
Hopefully-
Ward?
Oh, well. Cryptic as ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like talking to her.
He breaks out the leaf.
All shattered and torn apart now and snapped down the middle. So you can still see the very clear, dark.
Well, clearly she was
veins.
interested in it. Did she have anything interesting to say?
Yeah, that it's not living on life. It's living on death. And that this is, though it's been detached from the tree, it is a few years old now. In the last I checked, the leaves don't live that long without decaying and crumbling. So she asked that I take it away, that I don't bring more things, because she's starting to obsess over it.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, success in certain ways. Oh, Ava, I got you something. Dakota reaches in her backpack. She swung by like an old record store and searched the shelves for like old, not big ones, but tiny ones. And Dakota found some symphony of some old something or another.
Not Moonlight Sonata?
Yeah, not Moonlight Sonata.
It is Moonlight Sonata. It's just that is exactly what it is. But it's like an old something band of or orchestra playing through Moonlight Sonata, and I slide it across the table.
Oh, thank you.
Just thought maybe if you listened to it, you could
try
feel
to.
the things you feel.
Yeah, this is actually good. I'll listen to it. Thanks, Dakota.
Hey, but yeah, you're welcome. There's a really shitty record store I stole it from in Anarch territory. McTavish had it coming.
Now to
fuck
find
that
a
guy.
record player.
Yeah, he's an asshole. But I did see him. Well, kind of. He was behind me, I imagine, with a shotgun pointed at my back because there's nothing like a gun to really say I'm a man. So.
How did things go in the Anarch territory?
Well, about as expected. I was greeted by McTavish. I imagine it's now his stomping ground, but I left a little message for him. He doesn't seem interested in the Thin Bloods, which is a plus for us.
Okay.
I imagine that also means they're not hiding out in Anarch territory anymore, so if there are any in town, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more digging, but I think McTavish got the message.
Mr. Pink's not in the game anymore, and if he is, he's been relocated.
Not in the game. Well, that means you talked to somebody.
Yeah. I met his replacement group of real green upstarts. Goes by the name of Scarlet. She got a stick up her ass and eager to make a name for herself.
Okay. An opportunist is not always a bad thing.
Yeah, she thought she had plans of dusting me, but her backup was another couple of kids and a guy that was sitting on his phone a few balconies up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could have folded them into lawn chairs, but they seemed really interested.
That wasn't the case last time.
I mean, the case last time was that Mr. Pink came out alone, and he said he had a lot of help that was lurking just in case things went tits up. This time, she didn't feel brave enough to come out alone. She had a whole gaggle, and I don't know how they did it, but they knew I was a blank body. I said I was, and then one of them confirmed it. I didn't see how.
Somebody
But
took out Mr. Pink. They seem a bit on edge, one might say.
She said that this place was a shithole. They didn't really like his methods, so they moved him.
Interesting.
She's pretty upset that the Lupine have been organizing and that more blank bodies are appearing more than ever in the city.
That does seem strange since the cam has a pretty tight hold on our procreation methods.
That's true.
Well, the big takeaway is that I tried to move information on Layla. She seemed very, very not interested. Said that she was part of the government and government protected, that she didn't know anything about Layla, except for the fact that one time she read a vampire hunter novel called Layla. I said it was one and the same. She laughed. It was like a childhood hero or something. I don't fucking know. But she said she needed something more tangible, so I dropped a dime on your boy, Marcus Vitale.
Hey, now that is a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said they needed something or they were going to take me. So I told them about Marcus.
Okay.
And hopefully it pans out.
Fair trade.
Yeah.
We should maybe tell our friends newly acquired this evening to keep a distance from Vitale if we've put the OSI marquee on him.
Yeah.
Well, they seem very interested in knowing that there is a hunter sect that's moved into the city that's exposing and potentially killing other hunters. I may have stretched the truth a little bit, but I don't exactly expect Layla to give a shit about pedestrians or those interfering. If she's messing with bombs, she doesn't care about, hot bodies.
She's fanatical. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Well, one problem at a time, right, everybody? Ava, how you feeling? How was old Brett? Did he suck your sadness away?
Well, you saw Brett out there? Oh.
Yeah. I was hoping to get a little more info on where he's going with these kind that he keeps taking, but of course the minute I was there his focus completely shifted.
I'm gonna guess that he pelvic thrusted at you
multiple times.
That's his go-to.
Yes. And
does that
don't
work?
think no.
Okay.
I'm surprised with all of the people he gets that he wouldn't catch on that doesn't work. But despite that, I did agree to go out with him.
Oh God, now he thinks it works.
Shit,
now,
you're right,
now
Ollie.
he thinks it works. Well, you know what? Even better to let him down in the future, Ava.
Yes. Well,
build him up and just knock him down.
There's a new potential rose, maybe. Clearly, he doesn't care about anything besides their looks. There's a new kindred in town, so I am going to try to meet them.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of new kindred in town, right? I mean, that's what Rudy said. They felt the call of the blood and all the La Sombra are back in town, or at least they're coming in. So
yeah, which I don't know if this person is La Sombra or something else.
Oh, I didn't say.
Yes, but
she's hot though.
But she's very hot.
I like Ava says it like that, like it's such sarcasm.
You realize that like every female kindred that we've met is like really hot. They're like
Dakota coming way after she just spoke. Sorry.
yeah. Okay. Well.
Look, we're meeting at the Painted Lady on Thursday. If either of you feel inclined to take a trip
you're meeting
there.
on Thrusty Thursday?
It's Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he stretched the truth. Banana Hammock Brett telling you that it's Thirsty Thursday. It's Thrusty Thursday.
Oh, man. As somebody that frequents the Painted Lady, the least classiest night to come is Thirsty Thursday.
I don't know. What was Monday again? They said
Man Boob Monday.
Yeah, it was a Man Boob Monday. I know this. Man Boob Monday.
You would. Dakota knows all of it.
Tuesday, Wacky Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday's
Thirsty
the worst.
Thursday, Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday. I should have chosen Freaky
Honestly,
Sausage Saturday. I'll be honest, the only day I go anymore
Safety Sunday.
is Safety Sunday.
That's when all the mortals get to just not be bothered, basically.
It's just, I can go in and get a tattoo without seeing something you really don't want to see.
So
you never see Brett on Sunday at that club, ever. He's never been there.
Avoids the Sunday crowd. It's not really his scene. Maybe it's because safety is not his middle name.
There's so much leather on Fridays. It's impressive just how much leather.
The last time we were there was on a Freaky Friday.
There was leather everywhere.
There was a lot of leather.
And the dancing that they were doing, I don't even get it. It was just everybody was doing the same thing.
So I take it neither of you are interested in coming
Limited
out
skills
on Thursday.
I'll come out, but only under one condition.
Oh,
you trade me into Brett.
Oh.
Let me show up and take the date. Let's see how he does.
That'll piss him off.
I mean,
real
I'm just
bad.
saying, if you really want to take it, I guess if he's supposed to introduce you to somebody important, I might fuck that up, right? But
after
sure
he
would
introduced
be
me,
funny.
I can tell you I won't be going home with him at the end of the evening. So
you told him that.
I mean, never say never. The voice of God arrives. Never say never.
I would just contemplate letting him know that up front.
He already offered to pick me up in his Porsche. So
oh, that's even better. If you really want to turn his stomach, trade me in. I'll hop in his Porsche. He'll have to put the top down because there's no way that son of a bitch is closing with me in it.
Oh my God. I actually kind of like that idea.
I'll make him real uncomfortable. By the night's over, his penis will actually retreat inside of his corpse.
Meet us at the club.
Yeah. Well, look, the option's there if you guys want to come on Thursday. It might be entertaining.
I could get thirsty. You want to get thirsty, Ollie? I mean, not together.
It's a great night to feed.
Of one another. Okay. Yeah, it's a great night to feed.
So, the offer's there.
Cool.
We'll see.
Think about it.
We'll see. Well, how many nights is that? Like how long is that from now?
You have
Just
like 4 nights from now. She has the orchestra first.
I have my other date first.
So technically it's Safety Sunday.
Yes. It is Safety Sunday
right now.
today.
No wonder Brett's outside of the
Yeah,
club.
he's it's Safety Sunday. Okay, I'm just saying. I was thinking you could do like some research And Dakota kind of, runs her finger across the little, vinyl. And she says, yeah, just so, you have like a talking point. When you get with Nero, so that you can kind of be like, I love this part in the song. I learned that from you.
Yes.
Middle ground, something you have in common.
Mm-hmm. The things that, moments that move you, things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. I will take some time, listen to this. My date with Nero is tomorrow night?
2 days. 2 days.
In 2 days.
So Tuesday.
So,
Yep, Tuesday.
Mhm.
I will never be
Yeah.
able to think about my weeks any
Mhm.
other way ever.
Dating Tuesday.
Forever have my
We
weeks
love
laid out for me.
As the conversation begins to perhaps generally move into more light topic areas and more just general enjoying the rest of your evening, is there anything else that any of you want to put on the table and inform each other of, or shall we move toward closing?
I got dogs.
Tomorrow
to feed.
night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, I'm going to go see what's up with that bomb.
Yeah, it's probably about time. I thought, if we get our fingers on it, we could take it down the road to the pawn shop. That old lady knows a thing or two about an explosive before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we also need to move it over to your guy, that detective.
Oh yeah. Don't worry about old Frank. We'll get him handled. But I question how effective he's going to be if our Layla problem is connected with the tippity top of the food chain.
Well, I can always reach out through the network. The Nas are. What is in the best interest of the Nas is also in the best interest of myself. And if they're new hunters, particularly Layla, they're going to keep some eyes out.
I was thinking maybe tomorrow night I'd swing by, the college library. They have an extensive collection of classical literature. I thought I'd take a quick peek through a few old classics to figure out some information about an old story we've been pondering on.
It's a good idea.
Now that I have access to the library, I have a key card. You want to see?
Oh,
Pull
is
out
it
a
on your
university
keychain?
key card.
Yeah. Amazing. Then, as the conversation rolls to a close, what kind of, did you say you gave her a tiny vinyl, like one of the small ones?
Yeah,
or like
what is that, a
cassette?
38? No, it's like a 30.
Yeah.
There's like the big
I think
ones
it's
and then 38, right?
Ava even have a player for that?
I think it's a 78.
Is it a
You
78?
could find one
Nah.
relatively easy.
Oh, yeah. We'll get you one from
Yeah.
the pawn shop, or I
Yeah,
imagine
I'm
somewhere in that
sure.
damn ivory tower is some fancy smancy, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of those
yeah.
nice
Yeah,
ones.
it's
yeah.
the 7-inch, the 78s.
the 78s. That's
Okay.
it. Okay.
Then, as the conversation airs its way into jovial, friendly conversing, we slowly fade out and crossfade, perhaps, to the inside of Ava's penthouse. The door opens and we see Ava stride into the dimly lit room, hanging up her keys and her jacket in the closet before making her way over and setting up her new 78 or 38 player. She places the record on and we watch it spin. These next 2 nights, you do not dream. Everything goes according to as it should, as a kindred. But every night you play that record. And as we watch her place it down on the record player, have the needle sit, our camera moves to a vertical view of a spinning record as the music begins. And as it spins, we fade again, and in its place, a light at the bright center of the record. Our scene changes as that light is part of many, illuminating an orchestra, playing music. And as it begins to play, we watch our camera pan to Ava and Nero, comfortably sat in the VIP section, drinks and service at their fingertips. And it's now, after a few songs, having warmed up and spent some time, Moonlight Sonata begins. And as the music begins, everything goes black. In a moment, the absence of light is replaced with a familiar red sky. As tall buildings rise to your left and your right out of the ground, and beneath you, a road. where nothing and no one traverses beyond yourself. A road leads straight toward a familiar center and a pit. Ava walks slowly. We can see her dress behind her. The music still playing in the back of your mind. And as you stride closer, a figure comes into view, standing, waiting, their back to you. And as you stride, you begin to realize something that you never realized before. This music has always been here. You just didn't know what to listen for. And it eats its way out of the center hole, echoing and loud, calling, almost inviting. You continue strolling up and you hope to see Saito standing there. But the figure turns as you stand next to it, and you see Nero. And as he looks to you, just over his shoulder, the piercing green eyes of Saito watches. And we cut to black. And we'll return next week. With the next episode
year
of Shadows of Sybil. Yeah,
Fuck.
next episode in a couple of weeks. In a few weeks.
Oh, there's a drink.
Christmas break time, everybody. We just got back. We got
Yay!
2 episodes in.
Wowzer, wow.
Oh wow. Okay. What
y'all
does
can
that
simmer on
mean,
that for a
everybody?
few weeks.
Yeah, you got 2 weeks to sit and think and
And remember things. Remember.
remember
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Come on, I can't go off on a holiday break without really leaving you with a cliffhanger.
Something to, yeah.
Come show everybody the
But we can talk all about that in the after show that we're about to go and do, guys. So
Yes.
if you are and want the after show for episode 1 is over on patreon.com/podbynight. That's where we're going to be leaving the after shows, and episode 2's after show will be there as well. You can get the audio version at the $5 tier, the video version at the $10 tier. And after every episode of every show we do, this show, the Pod by Night shows, all have after shows that you can go listen, get some deeper insight. I really enjoyed last week's first one back. A lot of fun just like dissecting it, and I'm very eager to hear what you all have to say on this one. So thank you guys. It goes directly to supporting us as well as giving you some extra little goodies in the background. And if you're in the Discord, you get a special color and can join the community game at the appropriate tiers. All right, with that, we're off. We got to run the room. God damn it. I always forget. That's like an old habit.
It's just like, we don't do it.
We'll
on the
start as
podcast,
always with, I'll get it myself out of the way. Hey, I'm Mike, Mathis Games. You can find me as Mathis on the internet. I do podcasts here on the Pod by Night channel. We do, the VTM stuff, and I've got Chilluminati. You just find me. It's easy. And we'll move right over to Miss Magitech.
Hello, everybody. I am Tracy, also known as Miss Magitech on the internets. You can find me, you can find me at MagiRPG, twitch.tv/MagiRPG, which is where I usually play my game. So if you see me in chat as MagiRPG, that's me. I'm on all my other socials as Miss Magitech. I have been just chilling because holiday break coming up, and I haven't really been posting a lot of content. But next year, I will be back in full force, and we'll be back playing lots of TTRPGs all week. So yeah, that's me.
Easy enough, which leads us right over to Bub Talks. Bub.
What's up, guys? I'm Bub of Bub Talks. You can find me here as Ollie Hopkins. Occasionally you can find me over as Duke on the rest of the Pod by Night stuff. And whoever, who knows what's next. I have no idea what my next character is going to be, but I'm over on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Bub Talks. I am also appearing on my gaming's channel, where I play Kitchens, a synth in the Alien universe.
Kitchen.
It's a
Great name.
It's a wild show. That should be coming up to wrap soon.
It's gonna before the end of January. Can promise.
Yeah, I think we got like 5 episodes left max, and that's gonna be coming to a close. And in 2023, post my surgery, I'm trying to join lots of new experiences. I got some cool characters that I'm trying to bring to the table. So if you're looking for some Bub in your life, let me be a loud voice on your show.
Please do. Last but not least, the magic running all the production stuff behind the scenes, dear old Dot.
Hi, friends. I'm Little Red Dot. You can find me where little red dots are found. This is Grace. She's grumpy.
No.
Show him how grump you are. I'm so grumpy.
Typical.
Typical grump
Torty.
with my bow. Look at it.
Yep.
So sweet. Y'all can find me all over the place. I do that show with Bub, the Alien show. I'm also in a One Ring game, but most of my time is spent over at Kobold Press, where I'm a full-time little kobold. One of 3 in a trench coat, and the rest of the time I'm out here producing for Pod by Night, which is pretty sweet. Obviously, we are hitting our holiday break, though we're going to continue releasing the podcast.
Yes, the podcast
because
is all
we're ahead. We did this for all of you, so we wouldn't take a break over the holidays. We've got plenty to edit and continue to release into the new year, which is really exciting, even though this show is going to take a 2-week break until January. You're going to... Oh, I will say, if you are part of our community game, Josh and I are getting together a schedule so that if you are part of that, we can do a little text RP with Vera herself for each of you that wants to meet the Toreador at her party in Gary, Indiana. VODs do get released to YouTube. I'll quick answer that.
Yep.
Here, it'll be available to subscribers directly afterwards for the next few days. VODs are now officially released to Roll For It's YouTube every Tuesday. So if you miss us on Saturday, you can be a subscriber and get it right away. Or you'll have to wait till Tuesday of every week to catch it over on the Roll For It YouTube, whatever suits your fancy.
I love it. I'm excited. I'm
Mathis,
sad we have to go away for 2
what
weeks.
What did you use our shadow bars on today? Did we bank any? Or did you
Oh,
use them
yeah.
all?
I got one banked still I need to use.
Okay, so we used one today.
Yeah.
No, technically we used 2 today because you had one you used, and then you used
Mhm.
another because we got 2 today. Wow. That's math.
I don't want to say right now.
Oh.
Just know they were used.
Oh.
Just know they were used.
Oh.
Not that you're going to metagame, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
Okay. All right.
Especially
all
the
right,
listeners.
All right. This
Note
week, y'all just have
that
to
I will
just
say the
pontificate.
opening Saito scene was the rollover from last week. I will
Okay.
say that as we
Mm.
opened with Saito, but at this point, it's all fitting perfectly where I
Yeah,
needed to. So.
man. All right, gang. 2 weeks time. We can't wait to see you over in the Discord. Mathis, bring us home.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We're off to do a sideshow. We love you guys so much. We're so fucking happy to be back doing this
Yay.
show.
Pew,
We'll
pew,
see you
pew.
in about 2.5 weeks or
Yep.
so. Goodbye.
Have the happiest holidays, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a good holiday.
Bye.